playing that over and over again in my head.
Okay, yeah. So I'll do a little recap, mostly for you were in the dragon fight, weren't you? Yeah. Oh, you were in the dragon people. So
did you miss the last session as well? I assume so with the roll. Yeah.
So yeah, basically in that session, you guys were flying along on Khazal's back. You got swarmed by a bunch of these like dragonified orcs that have been like mutated into dragon people. They had all these weird spells that could cast darkness and magical darkness and all this kind of stuff. Long story short, they had a skirmish. They were able to come out on top. But then towards the end of the fight, a bunch of these dwarves showed up, which turned out to be Amhari dwarves, which are basically all not relatives of, but related to Rudy. And she was she didn't really want to get involved with them. You guys spent a bit of time chatting to them, where you found out that they had been trading this material called cold iron, which is very valuable, difficult material to work with. And they've been trading it with these deep gnomes, who Dawn was kind of found a bit weird because they were able to find out from dwarves that these deep gnomes have come to the surface kind of on a bit of a hunt for this artifact. I'm not sure how much Dawn has spoken about this stuff before. I think a bit.
He has, yeah. It's on his person, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is the artifact that they're looking for, basically. So you guys have a great opportunity to sell the plant out. And basically, after wrapping up all of that stuff, you guys headed up to the Drovnar peaks.
Was there much art? Was there much role play in terms of like any like after learning this information, like to Dorwin about asking about like any of the other players that ask him?
So there was a little bit of talk about it, but it was kind of mostly like Dorwin just being like, "Ooh, let's avoid these people," essentially. There was a discussion where the players were asking Rudy about why she was hesitant and everything, and Cora busted out some sick acting.
Oh, I missed this. Yeah.
I need to. So this was in the last session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Cora, can you just do it again?
More emotion this time.
Yeah. More. Yeah, and I mean, she kind of gave the rest of the party a bit of a rundown of why she was here and what she's doing. It kind of explained that that for her, basically after interacting with some druids, began to kind of realise how detrimental the mining of cold iron was on the natural world. We've made a bit of a parallel in a way. It's kind of, just to describe it quickly, kind of like fracking, like they're causing like landslides and like these weird natural disasters and things.
I'm incredibly embarrassed. I've never heard that term before.
Fracking?
Never heard.
It's just quite an aggressive process of extracting
Shale.
Shale?
Natural gas.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. I thought you meant shale, like stones. Yeah. Basically, it's super.
Natural gases occurred in shale.
As in like that kind of type of rock
Makes the natural gas. It's like crushed up seashell is what shale is.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So it is basically this process where you just drill down, extract gas, and it literally creates earthquakes. And stuff.
Fuck.
It gets done in America quite a lot.
Nice, of course it does.
Yeah. But natural gas is expensive. So because of that, she kind of like rejected her family, but she used to be part of the whole cold iron machine. She was like one of the people who like want to sell it and produce it. Like her family would keep
Oh shit! Okay.
There was basically some kind of like assault or fight during which her father died, who was kind of the main guy.
And you
pushing this.
You said all this while.
Yeah, I told everyone this story. Yeah.
And then after her father died, her brother took over, and she basically confronted her brother, got really pissed off, kind of in a bit of a rage, turned into a bear, kind of like fucked him up a bit, and was like, oh shit, managed to restrain herself and kind of fucked off. And since then she's just been travelling around being druid and has now been roped into all of this dragon bullshit.
Sounds shit though.
You should change the name of the campaign.
And so what really also kind of, she didn't say this directly, but there's obviously for her this conflict because she still loves and cares for her family, and she's got this kind of double thing where she like really respected her father and thought he was like a solid bloke and everything, but didn't like what he was actually doing. So it's kind of weird, like that to me.
A lot of guilt around it.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah,
how cool! I'm gonna watch that.
But yeah, it was good. But yeah, so and then after that, you guys flew up to the Drovnar Peaks. This mountain which just dwarfs all the other mountains in the area. It goes high above the cloud layer. And what's the name? Caldera? Is it?
Caldera, yeah.
Caldera, yeah. So there's like a like a volcano-shaped mountain, with a big bowl at the top of the mountain.
bowl of the mountain from a previous eruption is the caldera.
And basically within this caldera, it's almost like it's almost like a religious Eden. It's like a haven. Within the caldera itself, there's these kind of like micro mountain ranges and woodlands and forests and grasslands, and all these different habitats within the actual caldera of the mountain itself.
How big is it?
Jesus, it must be fucking
across.
huge.
Yeah, it's really large. And part of that is that because everyone here is sorcerers, you notice that they're all kind of like teleporting all over the shop, and like there's spells are just it's kind of almost like Harry Potter, where magic just permeates through their entire infrastructure.
Is it the case that the entire caldera is the community of
Called the Drovnar Peak.
Of the Drovnar Peak?
Yeah, okay. Yes, so the inhabitants of this place, they're all very communal. They don't have any formal hierarchy or leader or anything like that. They all just kind of coexist, and within them they each have a desire to create or produce the thing that they're interested in, be it food or artwork or crafts or whatever. And so because of that, there's lots of people here who spend time in almost in like a Buddhist kind of way. There's people who just spend their time trying to seek enlightenment and stuff like that, because a lot of them live for an extremely long period of time. Some of them don't live as long. It's all a bit of a mishmash of different entities.
I thought they were all Dragonborne.
They are, yes.
Oh, they are. Okay.
But they're like these special ones, aren't they?
Yeah. And so these Dragonborne as well, if they...
Sorry, just when you were saying the different entities, I thought you were like...
Oh, no, I meant like in their soul.
Right.
Some of the Dragonborne here who persist for a really long time and have the desire to and want to reach this mental place of enlightenment as well, they will eventually start transforming into like small versions of dragons themselves. And so one of the main contacts that you've had here is this guy called Loricon, and he's kind of halfway between that state. They refer to it as reaching Zen Lao. He's becoming a dragon form. So he's kind of like, his wings are larger, his face is more extended, he's much larger than a lot of the people around him. But you occasionally see them flying around and stuff anyway, but they're very present here.
How did the group meet Oricon?
He was essentially the first person to come and say what's up when you pass through this, this barrier. And there was a number of other people who were just flying around and curious and inspecting you guys as you're coming out. In terms of the natural landscape, it's kind of split up into these various districts. They've all got their own names. Where you arrived was at... check. What's that? So you guys... you guys arrived at this area called Barstadet, which is essentially this like large meeting hall, and there's all these other buildings in this district which are kind of dedicated to meditative practice and trying to reach out to Bahamut and spirituality and all this kind of thing. But it's also where people convene to discuss issues that they think are important if they need something one way or another. So it was here that when you guys arrived, so when you guys arrived, like loads of the inhabitants of the Drovnar Peaks all just like fucking teleported into this place, into this like huge, kind of beautiful stone dome. There's lots of mosaic artwork and amazing like, pictures on the walls and things that kind of make the whole place like quite stunning. And it was in here that they were all kind of surrounding you, and they were all. A lot of them were very excited to have visitors. They said they hadn't had a visitor for about 2 decades, they're normally pretty excited to like share their place because they know that the only people who can come in here are people who mean well. So it's always a positive experience for them meeting people. So there were all different people from the crowd, like shouting out and asking questions and you know curious. There wasn't necessarily a central person who was saying anything. There were a couple of other. One of the key guys you met there is this person called Frockerun, who was quite fun to describe because I essentially described this like absolute hulk of a red dragon. He like got a kind of natural frown, like very gruff and everything, but he was just like the most friendly, welcoming bloke. Essentially the farmer for the region. He was like.
So I just immediately thought of Toon.
And after discussing with these guys for a bit, you guys were kind of insistent that the Drovnar Peaks were under some kind of threat, as you know about, and everyone they were kind of like, nah, kind of dismissing it, and then you guys were also like, oh, we don't really want to. Before everyone knew about how their power structure works and that everyone's going to know everything anyway, they were like, should we maybe talk to somebody away from everyone so that everyone doesn't find out at once? And so they spoke to Loricon a bit because he seemed like a good person to talk about, the big golden sort of authority guy.
And there was a cool guy who was like more up for having a good time. He was like a big gruff guy.
Enoch had just immediately made friends with him then.
Well, he's about. This is what his mission is this session. What was his name?
That was Loricon, the red dragon. He's like a.
Was it Loricon? Fair enough.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he was very jolly and wanted to show you around and everything.
Wait.
Oh no, sorry, Frock.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Loricon is the golden one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
right,
Frockerman is the red one.
The red one.
Yeah.
The red one. And when you were describing this, you guys essentially said, is there like a more militaristic-minded person or someone we could talk about like defending this place? And so they took you over to this person called Tiashted, who's this blue female dragon she's very interested in like training her body and becoming a martial expert, not necessarily to fight, but just to have her sense of self be improved.
Sort of like a sense of meditation almost, is it?
Yeah, basically. And she was a little bit more stern. Also, her common wasn't quite as good, so you learned that actually quite a lot of the inhabitants of Drovnar Peak don't even speak common.
What do they speak?
Like a variant of Dragonborne. That's kind of ancient. It would be probably quite hard to understand even if you spoke Dragonborne, because it's almost like I'm picturing like Spanish and is it Catalan? Yeah, something like that. Yes.
No, I was just like going to ask a question.
And basically you spoke to this person. She was very insistent that there's no way there'd be any threat to the Drovnar Peaks. I was quite dismissive of it. And during this period, Loricon was also doubtful, but said that he's going to go and like meditate about it and think about it a bit more, but he kind of doesn't really believe it either.
Sure.
During this encounter, this young girl basically came running over and was quite panicked and was saying all this stuff like, I told you so, they're taking people, I told you, and was like running out and kind of yelling all this stuff, kind of confirming a lot of your suspicions. And they were quite quickly like, so her name was Emisha, and they were saying, why are you not at Keenath, which is their care facility essentially. Why you need to go back there? And so it was at this point that Tiashted essentially went over and teleported her away. You guys asked Loricon about it, and he was saying that Emisha's just been acting very strange recently for the past few months. Has been very erratic and paranoid and stuff.
She's been paranoid in exactly the same way that we're warning them about.
Right.
And they were like, she's mental.
They're like they were surprisingly dismissive, basically, despite what you guys have been saying so far. So yeah, that's kind of where it ended. They took her away, asked Laura to come along and said, oh, no, sometimes people here just, lose their shit a bit. And so, yeah, she's currently in this care facility. I don't remember if she shouted out certain pieces of information, I don't remember, so I'm going to go with she didn't for now, just in case she didn't. But yeah, she was shouting out, like, please come find me, basically, when she was being dragged away. So, we'll begin the session. We'll maybe say you guys have just had this bit of discussion with Larkon. He said, oh yeah, I'll think about some things. And he was saying, I think the last thing he sort of said is, why don't I show you around a bit, see what's what. And so, I guess we'll start from there, shall we?
Can I ask a question first?
Yes, of course.
Because there's so many dragons and dragonborns around, would it be fair to say there are any flying snakes around? Like little things? Or no, is that something that appears in a different part of the world?
Flying snakes?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you've seen any flying snakes around.
Okay.
Can I ask why?
Yeah, I'm intrigued to know why. I think it's just incredibly.
I've been looking at expanding my poisoner. So I've got proficiency with my with a poisoner's kit, and I want to start harvesting and making my own poisons.
Oh, there'd probably be normal snakes around.
The flying snake venom is really good though.
Only the best.
This is going to become the new elemental water, isn't it? Where every five
Oh no, there's a big list of them, but none of them. We wouldn't have encountered any of the
Well, I'll say what we should do, Jamesy. I think it would be maybe because it's there's a chance you might come across any of these things, and I imagine a part of your poisonous kit is probably a little book of like interesting ingredients and stuff, which maybe we get this info from. But why don't we roll with it where, like, if what we were saying before, if you encounter a particular enemy or something, it seems like it might have something, we can just come up with something.
Sure.
The only thing is with the poisonous kit, it's a different rule set to the herbalism thing that we've done with Al.
Yeah.
So that we'll have to figure out what we're doing with that before we dive headfirst into it.
Sure.
Because the base poison and potion crafting rules. Like this thing's a homebrew set that some guy made, which is really expensive. So we'll have to come up with that like after the session or next session, before next session or something like that.
So just to confirm, Tiashstead is the red.
Tiashstead is a blue.
Oh.
It's kind of. She's a very elegant female dragonborn.
Oh
She's
right,
a
sorry.
martial artist.
Oh sorry, yeah. And which is the one that was the fucking massive yoked dude?
That's Frockeran.
Frockeran. Okay.
Yeah. So to begin, you guys are kind of stood in this area where there's a combination of this section you're in now is all this martial training where people aren't using their magic so much. They maybe use it to enhance their abilities a little bit, but they're not outright casting big spells. So there's these people kind of doing these incredible feats of acrobatics and training, and then you see people who are less proficient, who are learning how to punch and all that kind of thing. I would say that, also just to describe for you guys, I've said this to them, but in this area as well where the training goes on, there's all these various like floating stone islands, kind of like Avatar.
Oh, sick.
And on each of them, some of them are just kind of barren.
Sea statue.
some of them are kind of barren, some of them have like little dojos on, and some of them have like little training grounds and areas to fight one another.
So just in this specific district?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
How do you
they're
get
not...
onto them?
Well, everyone here can fly and teleport. You can ask
Do you have wings?
I don't, but Dragos doesn't. I can fly Dragos,
So one thing, I mean, you probably would have noticed from meeting a handful of Dragonborne in your travels is that none of them normally have wings.
Right.
So it's only here where they're a bit more.
Yeah.
Not all of them have wings, but almost all of them do.
That's savage.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's kind of teleport anyway, but it's quite fun to fly around, isn't it? But yeah, and I would say that just kind of slightly further away, part of the same district as well, you can see that there is also an area dedicated to actual magical training as well, where you can see these like all manner of like huge spells going off, like storms being created really locally, and fireballs and these like purple energy blasts and all this stuff. You can see further away. You can occasionally hear these booms go off in the distance.
Do we have a rough idea of how many of them live here?
Yes. So I mean,
We're just like walking around. We've got a sense of how big it is.
yeah. So I mean, there's areas that are busier. So this area is kind of like medium to low. Like not a lot of people spend their time here. But it's still, I mean, looking around, just the people who are doing training, you can probably see maybe 100, 150 people, like looking kind of far-ish into the distance. But when you were at Barstadet, which is what they refer to as the Haven, just so you know, the place you are now is called Emforay. In Barstadet, when loads of the locals were there were like hundreds and hundreds of people, and these were just the people who wanted to come and
Just around at the time. Yeah.
well, I mean, they kind of zipped over to come and have a
Oh,
look.
got you.
But yeah, the Haven's quite it's not as busy as a lot of places, but people like to come there to kind of unwind and think about things and be philosophers and that kind of stuff. Lorican at this point says to all of you, well, let's not be so concerned with that business for now. I'll take you to some of our finer districts. How about I could take you perhaps to Idigan, where the craftsmen work, or to Lyreth, where we perform great acts of entertainment and create great artworks. There are many other places I could take you to, but I believe they are the more interesting areas for visitors of Drovnar Peaks.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely dying for a drink and to put my boots up.
He says, well, all of the districts house places to have a drink. Perhaps we will head towards Lyrith and find a place to settle there. Perhaps we could see a dance or listen to some music.
At this rate, Enoch may never leave.
Okay. And so with that, he just kind of gives you all a smile and then
Just teleports away.
oh, I forgot the guys. And he just kind of gestures over to a direction. As he does this, he goes a step forward, but he opens this purple portal basically and steps through it, and you guys follow him through. What Lorcan has described to these guys is that he's Jamesy. You just bashed my saw knee a little bit. It's so horny.
James is ready to turn the camera.
Ouch.
I didn't touch
Do you know what sauce?
Okay.
Fergie, my thingy at the
You can have
pizza
signs
set.
of happiness.
Meow,
Give me the
meow,
shitty
meow,
swan.
meow, 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 meow.
Oh, more than you deserve, my friend.
When are you moving in?
So our last day in our current place is the 15th. So we're going to start like over the next couple of weeks, start bringing stuff in. But yeah, a couple of weeks.
How much stuff, have you got a lot of stuff to take, or is
Yeah, we got a lot of like just random shit that we collected that we need to go through and get rid of. But,
yeah, keep some good boxes and stuff.
Do you think you'll get everything
Yeah.
in here, or are you going to be able to store
I
some?
think we should be able to get most of it.
Suey.
Yeah, I think so. Fingers crossed.
Really? You've got quite a big flat.
I can always bring the banner if you want, Will. Or any?
That might be
If
useful.
it's-
Yeah, that
fine.
might be useful.
Oh, thank you. Lauren gets a nice pizza.
Which one? Which one? Fucking hell, mate. You just
Oh shit, I forgot your dip.
Do you want this?
We've like mortally offended you.
Just being a usual fucking idiot. Don't worry.
so funny.
What size do you get, Jamie?
Chicken one. And non-chicken one.
Sure. Please.
The two food groups.
So there's no longer a food pyramid.
Chicken and
Two
non-chicken.
food circles. And they don't cross over.
Oh, fucking hell. Pardon me.
No.
That was not what I expected.
What do you think was going to happen?
I've got an entire week off now. Just built into my rota for free.
Oh, sick.
Nice.
What's that?
Lovely.
I got a week off just built into my rota now for
Oh,
free.
sick.
When you said for free, is that you don't have to pay for. I guess free, not days off.
Yeah.
Is there more strikes coming up as well?
Hell yeah.
Have you guys seen that? There's like two kids doing a rap battle. There's that kid, he's like, and it's free for two. Have you seen it? Yeah, it's fun. It would only be funny if you'd seen it. So yeah.
Is it the one that's like 2 year 7s that are like just terrible at?
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Yeah, he's like, your mum's so stupid, she saw 3 for 2 and thought it was 3 for 2!
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's my level of insult. I'd still be like, what?
You'd say it and you'd be like, wait, what?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just grab stuff. We'll get in a bar. You guys can talk about yes, when you arrive in Lyra, it's quite a open, expansive area, like a large kind of cobbled pavilion. And there's these various structures dotted around the place that are clearly designed to support the actual craft that's taking place within it. So there's large halls where you see people practicing dance routines and things like that. And a lot of the, well, I guess that in a minute I suppose, but there's other buildings which are kind of really erratic and covered in artwork and have like these hanging banners which are being used for creation of actual like physical artworks. And you'll notice that the extent of the creativity here is kind of balanced as giant cats flying through the sky.
The giant flying cats are chasing the flying snakes.
There's you'll notice that everything here has the magic kind of permeating through it. So the dancing as they do so, it's almost like Avatar, water bending and earth bending stuff, where they'll be throwing elements around to one another and they'll be spinning around and like they'll have these magical flourishes, almost like fireworks and various spectacles to witness. As well, the artwork, you'll see that some of it glows, and there's pieces that are like actual physical artworks on canvases, which have portions of them which are completely on fire, but just aren't burning anything else and remain on fire. I would say as well.
Can you pass the Pepsi, please? Come on.
I would say as well that as you're looking around between these artworks, there's this one particular artist who really captures your eye. You can see him just from a kind of a side angle. You can see his eyes are almost kind of yellow and glowing. He's sort of feverishly painting this picture. He's completely immersed in it. But the thing that he's drawing is this sort of fiery inferno on this painting. You can see that there's these like floating blocks of kind of abstract brimstone. And if you kind of, in fact, I'll tell you what. Why don't we have perception checks from everyone?
Some glasses. Oh yeah.
Coming up. 26.
Okay.
14.
17.
Free for two.
Could I have a glass there?
Yeah.
Thank you. Pass it down. Cheers.
I don't want this glass.
Do you want this?
Thank you very much. It was very, very. Oh!
Crusty.
No,
Another nat 20.
Oh, really?
Wow.
This is your
Dude,
place,
he's
mate.
so-
Go! I like this place.
Take that inspiration point away that you just got from your wisdom save.
What? Yeah, if you get one and you haven't spent it, it takes it away. Okay. Okay. So, what have you guys done perception checks on then?
Yeah, I got 14.
Yeah, 17.
14, 17?
Perception.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Chicken.
Mm.
I got 2.
Thank you, buddy.
2 total? Oh.
Fuck you.
You die. No.
You die from ignorance.
So, so initially, these guys kind of look at it for a minute and they're like, oh, okay, it's kind of strange. Guess you're kind of slightly more focused on it, and you're kind of looking at it, and you feel like you can sort of like it's completely abstract, so you don't really, you're not convinced. You feel like you can sort of make out a little bit of face in the abstract artwork itself. Palana, you find yourself very much enamoured with this painting, and looking at it, you can quite clearly make out these features, and don't think you could ever explain how. You don't think you could ever point it out to somebody because it's just so kind of alien. But you can see this very distinct face of this. Let me just.
I got the 26, he got the 17. But
He got that 20.
oh, cool. Sorry. No. Someone else got 17. Really good.
Hang on.
Dawn's just looking at the wrong painting.
It's beautiful. Like looking at a wall. It's like, oh, it's like being home. It's a stone wall.
Just like an exposed brick.
Yeah, you can see this face of somebody who's got like incredibly angular features, kind of purplish hue to their skin. They've got these piercing white eyes that are kind of slanted downwards in these kind of like large slits. He's got this sort of jet black, slightly spiky hair with a number of horns poking up through it. And as you're staring at this, you also can slightly feel the thorn in your hand kind of like pulsing slightly. It's not for anything serious, but why don't you give me a will power save?
It's a willpower save.
So just
So
like
you
you
got
got
wisdom.
You did it on your own this time.
When I was with Ali the other day, I was talking about against the stuff, and I was saying, oh yeah, everyone had to make willpower save. He got, what the fuck's a willpower save? And I was like, oh shit.
He's
sorry,
like, what's it
wisdom.
called? And he forgot it was what's it called.
But I'm not even like playing or doing anything that's got willpower in it, so I don't know where this come from.
15.
15. Okay. So I would say that after a minute or so, perhaps one of the others maybe kind of pat you on the shoulder, and you're kind of just able to like avert your gaze and kind of be like, whoa, and felt like you were almost in a little bit of a trance for a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, and then when you kind of look back, it's just a load of abstract mess again.
Okay.
Did
You said that the artist is like completely locked in on his. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I was,
Not like-
I was
did you say
thinking about talking to them, but I probably wouldn't.
His eyes are like glowing yellow as well. You said, yeah.
I'll probably leave it to it.
There's chicken here as well.
What? Does it have any effect on me, or I can't necessarily make it out?
No, you feel like you thought you might have seen something, and seeing Palana like so invested in it has made you kind of be like, oh, maybe there actually is something. But you kind of would have come to the conclusion that it's just some kind of weird magic painting.
Okay.
Was it Dragonborne? I guess. Yeah. The person.
No.
Ah. What was it?
No, I mean, it wasn't really a race that you could pin down. It looked kind of like sort of like a cross between a drow and a human sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
I would say as well that the person's ears were almost kind of like very. They almost were like almost like the shape of bat wings. Slightly, they were very like kind of pointy and all jutting out of bits.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's doing all this, and you're just gonna no.
Well, I'll give it a second.
He was just like, no, I'm not doing anything.
He said he doesn't want to talk to the guy.
The guy's like locked in on his art. I'm not going to be like, mate, what the fuck is this? Like, also like the fact that my thorn is like pulsing away, because that's not necessarily a positive thing. I'm not going to like let the guy know that I can see his shit and stuff. Maybe it's like, yeah, I'm just tearing to pieces.
Like the guy's just like, it's just like his life's work and just shred it.
You ruined my hidden feast. I'll say with this, Lorcan kind of says, little Enoch, you said you were wishing to put your feet up. Before we get into the revelry here, why don't we go into this lovely pub and have a nice drink? Perhaps you can tell me more about the outside world. And with that, you guys go in to this. All the tables and bar and everything, they're all kind of carved out of stone. Again, there's still kind of mosaics on the ground, but they're not quite as spectacular as the ones that you can see outside in the pavilion and everything. There's a very pleasant lighting in here. It's fairly dark, and they have a couple of different coloured glowing orbs which cast these kind of very slow, kind of fluctuating hues around the room. You find it quite calming. You can see that everyone in here is drinking out of these. Again, they're also made out of stone, but they're just like kind of wine-shaped wine glasses, essentially. And people are kind of talking amongst one another quietly. There's an occasional little eruption of laughter. There's quite a pleasant smell, almost of what's the stuff you make at Christmas? Mulled wine. There's kind of this like that not necessarily the same as that, but that kind of like intense spices flavour. It's kind of permeating through the whole area.
Are people kind of reacting to us as we're walking through? Because they're not used to seeing strangers and stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, maybe what Lorcan would describe is that, so people would definitely be reacting, like pointing over and things, and undoubtedly at certain points people will come over and say things, but...
I'm going to go up to someone that's like obviously looking, say nothing, give them my calling card, wink at them, and walk back to the bar.
He eats it. No.
He didn't do what he wanted with it.
You see, as you do, you kind of hand this card to this person who's kind of sat here drinking shit, and they come over, they were like getting ready to say hello to you, kind of give them this card, wink and walk off. As you do, you kind of like half looking back, see
Slight hand, just like glance back, see what happened.
Yeah, you see that he's kind of like excitedly discussing it with the person next to him, like pointing at it and like talking about this card, because I mean, to them, a card like this would be, and especially in this arty district, would come across very much as like a little piece of artwork, which is probably quite unfamiliar to them. So they'll be quite excited discussing what it means, what it is, and everything, and perhaps they'll might come over later or something. But for the time being, I'm just going to have a much of my pizza. So why don't you guys do like a little, have a little chat about things while I have a munch.
He's a little businessman. Let him use his laptop.
Where did we get to? So, sorry, I might have missed this when I was getting the pizza. The dwarves in the settlement.
Sorry.
Did we? Because you asked us to ask about your family and potentially try and relay back to you. Did that happen?
We didn't really go into that, I
didn't
think,
really do that,
because
okay.
We got a bit distracted by the tree.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah.
So didn't really follow up on that, but they kind of just like,
What happened with...
Hayden made a sentient tree.
oh.
Made an end.
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
He made a tree come alive.
Yeah.
And what...
What do you remember? So he basically made a tree come out.
Sorry, someone else tell me, eat your pizza.
What does it know?
Corey could
Tree
say.
came to, so we basically got up in the morning and went to go find him and found him like teaching the tree how to like speak and jump and move, and the tree was like fascinated to be alive, but obviously like didn't know what was going on. He literally
A little
never
bit
moved
creaky.
the spot. Yeah.
Tried to get it to do a backflip.
Yeah, tried to get
He
it to a
couldn't.
backflip.
Did he actually?
Yeah.
Did it try?
Yeah, try.
Yeah, and it just
Tried to get us to do a triple backflip.
yeah. And
Because
then
the next logical step from jumping is triple backflip.
yeah, exactly. And then we were like, well, Mana was kind of like, come with us on our adventure, and then we sort of walked with it for a bit, and it was really excited to be alive. And then we got to the Khazal and kind of just came to the realization that Khazal can't really carry a tree on its back. So like, we were a bit like, bye?
It took so long trying to manufacture a way to get the tree to come out. Like,
Really?
Eventually we were like, it's kind of roughly east.
All
tree is basically an infant.
Imagine we see him in 6 months' time. It's like,
Yeah, we floored Khazal for days and we were like, I'll catch up.
He was like, what direction is that? I was like, yeah, mostly south. He was like, tells the tree to head south. And I was like, you know, south is like where all the bad stuff is in this world. And then he was like, it's a fucking tree.
It's not like you'll get set alight or anything.
Oh no, they ended up before they left. Actually, he changed his mind and he said actually,
Follow some dwarves.
yeah, he said that. So the Amhari dwarves, basically he was like, actually tree, follow them because they'll eventually get to some civilization. But for some reason, he was like, but make sure they don't see you. And these dwarves are going to be like traveling across like open plains and stuff. Right? The tree has an ability when he's not moving, he's indistinguishable from a tree. So these dwarves are just going like, this tree's fucking flying over ages. Every time they turn around, he's just like,
Just right behind them.
They turn around and he just like backflips behind another tree.
The one thing you learn.
Every time you have to walk, he's just backflipping the whole thing.
So, yeah,
So, Rudy, how did you feel about seeing some of your people again?
oh, have we not been through that?
Oh, we already been through all of that. Oh, okay, sorry.
that's what her like, epic monologue was about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that like,
To be
you
fair,
weren't listening
if
the
you
whole
hadn't done it, I
time?
probably would've said
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Once more time with feeling.
Yeah.
Everyone in the pub be quiet. I just get up onto one of the stages. Like, I've actually written a one-man show.
Channeling your inner time.
So, your people, am I right?
Oh, chestnut.
Right, shall we get a drink and have some time to ourselves?
Enoch magically appears with your shoulder with like, 3 glasses and one on like balanced on the brim of his hat, and just like,
Someone at a table class.
fellas, let's have some rest and relaxation, shall we?
Right.
Who did you leave out of the drinks order?
3. Fuck.
Back to the bar, mate.
Who did I
say
leave out?
You'll juggle.
You.
Lana's like, and just trudges off to the bar on her own.
He stole them. It's not like he went and
Oh,
paid.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
There's no money here.
Okay.
There's nothing to see.
Enoch loves it for the skill of it, not
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lorcan said like he gave you guys a heads up. He was like, in the past, whenever people have come in, they've always tried to like give us these weird little trinkets. He's like, we don't want them.
What, referring to like gold coins?
Gold and
Yeah.
gems and stuff. He's
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's like,
So really, you have no concept of monetary value here.
I'm just eating a pizza. I'll get back to you in a minute.
That's an after pizza discussion.
Enoch's little goblin eyes light up.
Well,
Okay, let's sit at this table whilst we wait for
there may also then be nothing for you to plunder, Enoch.
Oh, I seriously doubt that. Although that's not why we're here, is it, Gesh? We're here to save the world. You must focus.
Indeed, we have been exchanging niceties with Lorcan, but we mustn't forget our task.
Does anyone feel a bit, well, the only word is fucking angry, that we've come all this way and they're not even listening to us?
I know this
Wasting my time.
This place seems a bit too good to be true.
What's our next step if they don't want to leave and they don't really have... They've got some defences, but how do we proceed?
Indeed.
Well, we don't know that their defences are as good as they think they are.
I mean, we got them.
I mean, we just drink with fucking shit.
Just a thought, fellas, as well, is we've not exactly been the most conspicuous of people coming here. What if someone tracked us and followed Khazal and we've led them to the Drovnar Peaks.
Did Khazal literally fly the party to the Drovnar Peaks? Yeah. Okay.
Where's Khazal gone?
He's a big titty Dragonborne.
Yeah. No, he's just cutting about. Because they're a lot of the, I didn't really describe it because we were kind of in the middle of other stuff at the time, but they're all like, a lot of the Dragonborns here are really gassed to see a not evil chromatic dragon. Because no chromatic dragon's ever been able to get in before. So the only chromatic dragons they sort of have are these Zen lab I described, who are people who were chromatic dragonborn, who become dragons, but they never become full-on dragons.
Yeah. How big do they get?
Kind of the size of like a young dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, so probably, what's that, maybe like 20-foot wingspan, something like that?
Nice.
Good, they're basically flying snakes.
Is there anything here like Gesh?
I just need to harvest that poison and I milk them.
What, the Dragonborne?
Yeah,
I'm
they're
gonna
poison.
ask. Yeah, I don't think they have poison. I guess the green ones probably do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. If this place doesn't require money for anything, this is a great place to stock up on stuff. You can ask around for any rare items that we might need.
Any rare items?
I know that money isn't a thing. Do you have any incredibly valuable things?
Give me your shiniest objects.
Give me the thing you have least of.
Friends.
Just give you some money.
Take it.
So how do we think we need to proceed with these people?
I think encouraging them to leave their home is probably not a very wise idea.
Agreed.
They have been here since the beginning of time, almost. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
That's what you remember from Mogzenor saying.
Yeah. Just checking with the encyclopedia.
Aye, but we at least need to make them see that they are in danger.
Indeed.
Agreed, but I think that the Drovnar Peaks is their stronghold. I think that alone in the scales, without their fortifications, I feel that they're much more vulnerable.
Yeah, this is a fine. What's it
Stronghold?
Caldera.
Oh, Caldera.
called? Caldera.
Stronghold?
I understand how they dismissed us though, because if they have been protected from all the evils of the world for all this time, then they are not going to immediately take our word as a group of travellers that they have never heard of.
Complacency breeds arrogance, though, Gesh.
They clearly are arrogant. I will give you that. Well, they are.
The
most lovely,
welcoming people.
They are
arrogant cunts.
We've come here to save the world. I'm not here for idle chit-chat. Apart from this drink.
Enoch, my worry is that if you can't attack a stronghold with force, you do it surreptitiously. And if that's what's been going on here, we need to find it out.
I think that's a very, very astute observation. No one is above suspicion, not even their supposed leaders. They might be been corrupted. We've seen how even mighty dragons can fall to the mind control of Croach Tech.
Exactly. So for now, we trust no one.
Perhaps our imminent task is to pursue baby Amisha and find her.
Aye.
Where was it that they were saying they were taking her to?
We don't know.
They said that she should be in
Oh,
her
yeah,
school place,
Right.
but then they took her away.
But it's like a care,
Keyman's okay.
How often?
Breakout.
How often can you try and find her?
Oh, a good 8 or 9 times a day.
Alright. So we just walk around trying to do that.
What is this like a range thing that you can?
My psychic teleportation has a range of up to a mile.
Or perhaps we could simply ask where the care facility is.
It's a good place to start. But if they're worried for her or really believe that she's not herself, they might take her somewhere else. Somewhere they take ill people.
And I hearing that, I walk up to the person that I gave the card to, and I say, my good fellow, there was a wee Dragonborne in the morning crowd as we entered. She was very enamoured by the party and asked us to visit her. She's in the Keenath?
Yes. Keenath. That is our care facility. It's normally where the aged and the weary go to rest.
I see. And, well, her mum just said it would mean the world to her if we visited her in this facility. She's not very well, you see.
We're here with Make-A-Wish.
He says,
I wonder if you could direct us to that so we might brighten their spirits.
Yes, I have seen you have been travelling with Loricon. I'm sure he would be pleased to take you there. We are all hoping that you would be, that you would find our lands most fascinating. I must say, this strange card you've given me, of what craft is it?
It just disappears in front of his hands.
and with that he goes, whoa!
Yes. Such is the fragility of life.
And then just like,
He goes,
And a boon.
that is the calling card of my family. We come from a long line of proud goblins over in the east, way to the east.
I see. And if you don't mind my asking, how is it that the family of such creatures is arranged?
Well, that's a long story. We've got a quite hierarchical businss model, if you could say that.
I'm not sure I understand.
Which part?
I would say most of those words I'm a little confused by. I heard a rumour some time ago that people from the Outlands who live not in the Drovnar Peaks spend much of their time around their direct descendants and whatnot. You see, here it is more common for the young to stay in the in a different area. to stay 1 minute. They stay in Le Ugan until they are of age, and well, it only depends on the child whether they become close with those that are their direct kin.
Fascinating. In the outside world, you're born into your family and you stay with them, hopefully for life. Sadly, it was not the case for me.
I see. So the benefits of the family can also lead to dismay if they are lost.
We have a saying in the outside world that the ones closest to you can hurt you the most.
This is a wise proverb. I would say the same is true here, although perhaps it is just simply that the families are what we would call a family, are the friends that we create.
at this point, you see that he leans over to the person on his right and just begins relaying certain information in this strange draconic tongue, presuming this person probably doesn't speak common. He says, and
can Mesh pick that up at all? Have you moved away from the group with this interaction as well?
He's we're in a bar, like.
I assume there are a couple of tables.
Yeah,
so you guys are probably
across the table, just.
Yeah. Let me see where I had the little notes. Here we are. He says,
might I ask your name and the names of your party members? Everyone is talking about it.
And I say, likewise, this is our collective chosen family. We have adopted your ways by accident, it seems. And I say, the name's Enoch Inakenti, and I gesture to the calling card, and I say, if by any chance you're ever in Squall's End in about, 5 years, we'll look me up. I'll be quite recognisable there.
Squall's End, you say? And what sort of a place is this?
It's an absolutely majestic place. A hive of a seething metropolis of opportunity
And
for those who can take it.
And I've heard of places that exist not on a mountain. Is this such a place?
Quite so. It's actually built in the lowlands, on a swamp.
A swamp, indeed. We have swamps in our land, however, we mostly use them for exploration and relaxation. I have not thought of building structures upon it.
Well, the thing is, if you relax there, then you want to be there all the time.
I must say that is most likely true. Well, it was my absolute pleasure. My name is Lerid, and here is Hefar.
Palms watch.
We have no need for the concept of time. Yeah.
He notices this guy and is like, I didn't need it anyway.
Oh, yes, I was giving you my watch. Is it not? I was just about, it's customary in the outside world to give a watch on first meeting.
I would like a watch.
I said, it's only for guests.
You just hand me the stone.
I'll barter this rock.
Maybe you can flog the immovable rod.
The immovable is the one they
The
want.
extendable rod, sorry.
Okay, so perhaps by this point you see that maybe while you guys were having this discussion, you were doing it kind of in private, as Loracon was maybe, you could see him talking to a small group of other Dragonborne.
I wouldn't have been doing it in private, just like, just...
Oh no, I meant
I
the
see.
discussion about the strategy for what you're going to do.
Oh, I see, yeah.
After a minute or two, he kind of like calms him down and comes over to you guys holding a drink of his own. Just says, I was just informing many of the locals about what I've learned from your interesting party. Now, well, it seems like you were in a fervent discussion. Whatever were you talking about?
Oh,
Oh, was it a private matter? Never mind.
And I say, just how to save all of your lives.
Oh. Yes, you're still concerned about that, I'm sure. Well, as I say, you may take as much time as you wish to explore these lands and investigate and find out whatever you will.
How did the other locals react to our news?
They were of much the same disposition as Tiashted. I admit that I will need some convincing myself. However, the locals are thoroughly convinced that our ancient defences will remain stoic as ever.
And I pull out the head of the sculpture that I took from the Croconis cult, and I say, this is the face of the enemy that is marching against your gates.
You see he takes it in his hand and kind of inspects it for a minute and he says,
I must say it does not look all that fearsome to me.
and he kind of places it down on the table.
Well, it is a statue.
I'm aware.
Statues don't tend to look that threatening.
Indeed, and it does not.
I see.
Lorcan,
Put it back in my pocket.
the hushed conversation that we were having is we were trying to discuss a way of impressing on you the seriousness of this matter, while also trying to be considerate of your hospitality. So we were strategizing between us a way to symbolise how important it is that you heed our words and listen to our warnings.
As I have said, I will spend the time to meditate on the matter myself. I am not one to push away any concept. I will be happy to facilitate whatever you wish to do here. I do not wish to be obstructive in any way. You just must understand that our ways are ancient and powerful, and they have yet to fail for the length of time that we have existed on these peaks. Our catalogues date millennia back.
Of course, and the last thing we want to do is overstep your hospitality. So, am I right in thinking we can have free reign over your lands?
Of course, these lands are for all.
Aye.
I encourage you, do whatever you wish here. Seek whatever you wish to seek.
Right, these catalogues you speak of, where might we find those?
There is, we have libraries that are part of our Havenland Bastardate.
Hey.
If you would be more than welcome to spend time there reading our ancient records. You will even learn much about our great and noble culture.
Right, that sounds good, doesn't it? Go ahead.
And where might we find the Kiashted? No wait,
Keenath.
Keenath.
Keenath, they are the hot springs located on the mountainside. I will take you there as soon as you wish. But I do urge you to enjoy the pleasantries that we have at our disposal for the time being. I have no doubt that the journey here must have been long and arduous.
That's very kind of you, but you have not seen what we have seen, and we must press on with our matters with great haste.
By this time, Enoch's like ever so slightly tipsy and is sort of transitioning kind of away from the quest into having a good time. So he's like, just like maybe slowing slightly, just being like, come on, Gesh, like lighten up, Gesh. You're so serious all the time. Let's, we've earned this one.
Indeed, I would hate to get in the way of you and a good time, Enoch. So why not stay here and wager with these locals with things that they do not find of any value, and see if you can take them from them.
Gladly. And I just sort of like, wander off and just start looking for people in the bar, just to, like talk to and like just start just mingling.
Yeah. Just
activating mingle.
having a good time.
Activating mingle mode.
Perhaps you could show us the way to this Keenath and to these libraries, and we could learn more about your customs. And while we explore, you can take all the time you need to go over our proposition, what we stated to you. However, I would urge you to heed our words. These people are serious and incredibly dangerous. They have the power to beguile dragons. They've laid siege to a town that had the greatest fortifications in our lands. 2 of our friends have died in this pilgrimage. I would not take our words lightly.
I am sorry for your loss. I can see how significant this quest must be. As I say, I will do my best to aid you in any way I can.
Would you not even trust the word of a mighty chromatic dragon, Khazal?
Did Khazal have any interaction with them?
Yeah, he's probably. I mean, we don't know where he is currently.
No. When everybody arrived.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't describe it, but it was the same kind. Like they
just sort of
appreciated Khazal. Like the chromatic dragon to them is an equal oddity to guests. So it's kind of like all like, whoa, look at all this crazy shit going on. At this, Loricon says,
Khazal, yes. I am yet to confer with him. I am most fascinated by his presence here. Perhaps when I have some time, I will have a conversation with him. For now, though, how are you enjoying our fine wine?
Well, it's quite delightful, thank you. The sights and the artistry in this area are like nothing we've ever seen.
Might I ask you about that artist over there? He seems to be creating quite a bewitching painting.
Yes, I noticed him. It's always fantastic to see somebody so enamoured with their work.
Do you have any more information about it? I wanted to speak to him myself, but I didn't want to disturb his work.
Of course, his name is Klalmash. He has long been an artist who specialises in utilising the natural flow of rivers and streams and incorporating them into his artworks. I must say, his most recent painting is not like anything quite he's done before. Perhaps once he's finished, you can ask him more about it. He's always loved to discuss his works.
I definitely will, thank you.
How often does he usually sit and paint for in a session?
I've seen him paint for days at a time without eating in the past. However, I've never seen him quite so fervent before. Is that the right word? I think so.
Yeah.
Fervent. Fervent before. Whatever he produces in the end will be a mighty spectacle.
Indeed, because it... How did it make me feel?
Some tricky shit,
It was like just sort of like...
Well, you
felt
just
slightly
really feel
moved.
anything from it.
He said I felt something from it, didn't I?
It's not that
But
you felt anything from it. You just basically,
Oh.
for you, you thought you saw like this face for a minute, but then just decided it's kind of weird. But what you did feel was like you would have picked up on Pilana's intensity because you like acknowledged it more.
Okay, saw it in her. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but it's not something that you really broached with her yet. But I'm going to say that maybe you were the one to pull her away from it.
Okay.
And head to the
Yeah.
Can I just ask, surely for such a curious and artistic people, being confined here must occasionally lead to some limitations. Do people not want to leave and see the rest of the world?
Well, there are people. The people here exist in such a way that. Hang on, let me restart that. He says the culture of our people here is focused entirely on bettering oneself and becoming the ultimate form that one can be. For me, that is the seeking of knowledge and the understanding of the arcane arts, fine-tuning my prowess as a sorcerer. And while there is undoubtedly much wisdom that could expand this in the wider world, for me, the music stopped. Oh, it's back. For me, the Drovnar peaks have more than I could ever understand in 1,000 lifetimes. And I believe that many of the people here hold similar values, that even if they were to dedicate their entire lives to a single blade of grass here, it would forever hold their focus and captivation.
Aye, but surely once in a generation someone comes along that needs to leave and explore for themselves, no?
I cannot say that I've encountered any such people myself. I can't say for certain whether people in the past have left or not. However, I would say that we all feel bound to this place. We feel Bahamut's presence permeate through us, and through that we find great pleasure existing within the Drovnar peaks.
Alright, well, I wish I could say the same about my own home.
Indeed, I remember perhaps a century ago there was a person who travelled these lands and came to the Drovnar peaks with much the same outlook as yourself. They came here to find what we already have, which is the peace and presence of a home, although they decided in the end that this place was not for them. However, they did leave us a fine gift. There is a person that I think you would find most interesting. They are called Emhern. They are not quite the same as the rest of us. You see, but that traveller who came here long ago was of dwarven descent, much as yourself, and the gift they left behind was a child. This child has gone on to become one of the most fine craftsmen in the land. The presence of the ancient draconic blood is potent within them. However, their features and characteristics are undoubtedly alien.
Where does this Emhern stay?
You will find her in the great temple in Idigan. This is our crafting district. It is my personal favourite place to visit when I'm not poring over books and tomes and text in Bastardet. I encourage you very strongly to explore this place.
So, Emhern is the daughter of a dwarf and one of your own Dragonborne.
Indeed, that Dragonborne, unfortunately, his soul passed into the. Well, I guess we didn't say unfortunately. That Dragonborne's soul and body has passed on into another realm. They did not choose to pursue the Zenlab path as I have myself, and as such, young Emhern dedicates her life to creating crafts in honour of both of her parents for in gratitude for her being here.
That sounds wonderful. Where does she live again?
Idigan.
Yeah.
Temple in Idigan.
Again. And what sort of crafts? What sort of craft work does she create?
Idigan creates a number of great things. She is most fascinated with stone and metalworks. However, she also has found incredible ways to incorporate these crafts into her physical body, and she can even she has even managed to do such things on other members of the Drovnar Peaks who have wished for it. You will definitely you'll easily be able to spot her in a crowd.
Could you give us an example? Does she have like a blade coming from her arm?
I'm sure she could if she willed it, but she
Who would do such a thing?
but she has a wide catalogue of tools that are incorporated into artworks poured over her body. She can reach into them at will and utilise them as she sees fit. Additionally, she says she's struggled to achieve this on anyone other than herself, but she says she has catalogued for me these marvellous wonders that I'm yet to fully understand, but she's even been able to enhance her own mental capacity for the comprehension of craftsmanship. It's not something I completely understand myself. Perhaps if you talk to her, she could enlighten you more than I can.
Oh yeah, she sounds like someone we'd love to meet.
Where would we like to start? We've
Can I-
got so much to explore.
Can I just can I just look out for any thieves' cant around the Drovnar Peaks to like try and find out if there is any potential contact with the outside world that maybe the like Lorikin doesn't know about and stuff.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll
Like just while we're going around, I'm just like
Why don't you give me and then I'll have this affect the next few days or so. Why don't you give me 3 perception checks?
Just while he's doing that, can I ask, this traveller that came here 100 years ago or so, what was their name?
Their name was their name was Dritan.
Dritan.
They claimed. Oh shit! I've forgotten what that place is. 1 second.
I got a 17, a 9, and a 22.
Okay, nice. I will keep you posted. I'll make a note. Yes. She. Sorry, it was he the person who came in. Datan claimed to have come from a mountain famous in your lands, known as Khazal Summit. It's well, I'm sure you could tell me more about it than I can tell you, but it's meant to be a great haven for dwarven craftsmen of all kind.
Do you know it really?
Let's.
You would have heard of Khazal.
Khazal.
Summit, yeah. It's in the
Mazal, isn't it? Mazal Summit.
N.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Is it on the map?
yeah, because Gesh is from
That kind of region.
that region.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically in the southeast. There's like a mountain range.
It's north of Squall's End, isn't it?
Yeah, quite far north as well.
But due north instead of like the scales.
No,
of
that's just making fun of us.
I assume that helps me to get my numbers right.
South, east.
Yeah, it's like, I always get east and west wrong.
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah.
Is Swordsey's not? Okay, I need to look on
You did it then too as well.
I'm going to do like that, but
It's
Yeah,
left.
why don't you tell the guy?
Oh, he's see that definitely looks like an M.
No, fair. No, because that's an M, yeah. The mount and then Nagwan and
Oh, okay. That shell changed.
why
Yeah,
don't
so with him saying that, sort of Gesh's eyes sort of.
you make some shit out of people, by the way.
Hey.
You make some shit about that place if you want.
Yeah.
No
okay.
pressure, obviously.
Okay, well,
Make some cool shit up.
good.
oh, Swords End isn't where I thought it was.
Scotland's right on the coast.
Yeah, I thought it was this way, but
It was right in the.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe Polana would say, you know, putting words in your mouth to say, oh well, you know, I'm not from these lands, I don't know anything about this place or something, and maybe at that Gesh pipes up or something.
Yeah. Well, maybe any of the perceptive or anybody paying attention will have seen when he says Nazal's summit that Gesh is like a bit shocked, but then after that says my kin hail from the southern areas of that mountain range, and I've not heard anybody speak that name for quite some time.
That is most interesting. So, there are other Dragonborne spread out across the world. How far is it from this place?
How far is it?
You'd say the far distance.
Okay.
That's say a number. So,
Fucking far, man.
Some months' journey from here. There are quite an extensive number of subspecies, certainly from yourselves. And looking at you and those of the Drovnar peaks, I'm beginning to question whether I can even call myself a true Dragonborne.
Well, everybody comes from somewhere, and although you are closer to your origins here than perhaps anywhere else in the world, it does not in the least take away from what you are as an entity and as a spirit.
Thank you.
says,
Is it,
These people are fucking weird.
it is, I must say, in the many centuries I have persisted here, and the few travellers that have crossed our paths, so few of them have been Dragonborne. From what I've learned from the others is that they often live a more primitive lifestyle, perhaps one less based around pure expansion and exploration. May I ask about your own culture, what it means for you to be here as somebody who will undoubtedly have a connection with these lands?
Well, it's a very interesting question you ask, because my kin and that of my family live a very similar life to yourselves, of wanting to remain isolated and very, very private and withdrawn from the rest of the world. But through a series of very unfortunate happenings, as a young boy, I exiled myself from my clan, and so have begun to explore the world, and in doing so happened upon some travellers, and we now travel together. As Enoch said, we are now a family. Oh, well, Rudy said, one of them said that we now travel as this is our chosen family, and we are pursuing a much higher path together.
It sounds like you have found meaning in your exile. I would meditate on this.
Indeed, and with that I sort of gesture to Dragos, and Dragos sort of gives me a little nod as well with what you say. What
Perhaps with that he says,
Lorcan says there.
with that he would say, yes, I am also most curious about your companion. I can detect a connection both to him but more so through the two of you. How is it such a being has come into existence? I've never even read of such a beast.
Well, this was.
But actually, he wouldn't say such a beast. He would say he'd say such an individual, probably recognising slightly more.
Considering him. Well, I suppose, would he ever call any living thing a beast?
Yeah, cool, like deer and stuff they eat and like animals and things.
Or like a cow, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
cat. What the fuck is that? It's a chicken.
Well, I went through quite some tribulation to earn Dragos' freedom, because for a time his soul was captured within a little trinket that I kept safe, and now he is my brother by blood, but was cursed, and we are in pursuit of lifting that curse. But in the meantime, he takes on the form of a drake, and he's not too upset about it.
This is interesting. I have learned much about soul magic myself. It is something that we on the Drovnar peaks do not try to interfere with, for fear of a situation such as your own. We would. There is nothing here that we seek more than the expansion and enlightenment of the soul. I pray that whatever has befallen yourself and your companion, that you are able to find peace within it.
Well, hearing Lorcan say that he's studied soul magic, Gesh sort of, his eyes light up and he says, is there any way that you could aid me in freeing my brother from his curse?
There is much that I have learned and much that I can talk to you about. However, the practicalities of it itself is something that I daren't get involved with, for
Indeed.
fear of making things worse.
My learning of it is my learning of it so far is that it's considered almost as illegal and as evil as necromancy.
Necromancy is not really considered that
Oh,
art in this
shit.
world.
Okay.
The main the school of magic, which is in the north. Well, I mean, maybe it's different for you, I guess, in the south. But in the northern world, people aren't too asked about necromancy. But what people are really bothered by is enchanting. That's like a general no-no.
Enchanting.
It's like controlling people's minds and stuff. That that sort of magic.
Okay.
Because for people who live in the north and things like that, necromancy for them, or the general cultural understanding of it, there's also certain people who don't like it, is that you're kind of in the magic communities anyway, it's that you're just kind of utilising a resource. You're not really like fucking with people's
They're
essence.
already dead.
Yeah, they're already dead, so you're just animating it's like animating a bag of sand.
Yeah.
Whereas enchanting and stuff has like historically been used to like topple empires and like the Imperious curse. It's just like completely fuck shit up. From a physical basis.
Okay, well, let's pretend I said that instead then.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yes. Okay. So yeah, with that he sort of says, well, it would be my pleasure to have a more lengthy discussion at some point about how I might be able to help with with you and your companion's ailment.
Thank you.
Okay.
Where would people like to explore first? We've got 3 real areas. We've got the library, we've got the Keenath, and we've got the go and speak to the half dwarf.
Yeah.
Would be interesting as well. We'll become bionic.
I think Enoch's just
Just fucking Robocop.
Yeah, your armor just
Start moving like a dwarven centurion.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
I think Enoch's just gonna mingle tonight, go for a wander, see what
Do you want to like do that, or is that you just saying what Enoch's up to?
I think I want to do that.
Sure, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you up to first then?
So I'm just walking around the bar, just like mingling.
Relishing a bit of attention. and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just like I'm, all eyes on me kind of thing. Just introducing myself as the leader of the group. Just to give some gravitas to me. Just seeing, seeing if there's any, like, sorry. Sorry. The thing, I shouldn't. I'm too fidgety to say.
Yeah, I'll screw over
what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So, do I like strike up a conversation with anyone? Is there anyone that's like up for it?
Yeah. I mean, so it seems like most of the people who are here would be keen to talk somehow. A lot of them are. You see people keep coming up to you and like saying stuff, having very disjointed semi-conversations, getting out a few words of common that they know, and just saying like, fuck. I've decided that the guys here have this kind of weird like, kind of like what are you for? It is not great to like learn the language. That's what I quite like for these guys. I don't know why, but so they come up and they say like, "It's good see you, Krishtek." Yes.
I go around just saying Krishtek to everyone.
Yeah, no. Every time you do, you see people always give you a big grin and will say Krishtek back and hold up a drink or something.
Yeah.
What's Krishtek, sorry? Cheers.
No, it means like this place is like a word encompassing like the awesomeness and the beauty of this place.
Oh, cool.
It's like when they arrived, one of the party members said to like the huge group that were there, were like, this place like is so beautiful. The watercourse and the mountains look amazing, and like everybody just went Krishtek, Krishtek, and all shouted it out,
So on my way around, I'm just sort of asking people, kind of feigning like, just awe at this place for the people that do speak Clado Common. Just saying like, such an idyllic place. It seems like there's a land of like bounty and plenty. Is there any troubles at all here, or are there any malcontents or people that are that don't fully subscribe to the rest of the tribe's world views?
Sure, yeah, I'll say that maybe you're at this point maybe sat on a stool at the bar, talking to a bit of a crowd, and as you've been going around chatting to people a bit, people have for them the gap has been broken and they're willing to like listen to what you're saying.
Regaling them of some of Verkayax's like adventuring stories as well.
Yeah,
trying to drum up a bit of like sort of hype around us and stuff.
And you can see that like whenever you're telling these stories, there's people like explaining to their mates and stuff what's going on. As you're saying like what's I'm interested in what can go wrong here sort of thing. Like, what's not good. There's this woman working behind the bar. She seems like the person who runs this place, handing out drinks and stuff. You see that she's a bronze dragonborne, and she's kind
bronze dragonborne. Okay.
She's like slightly. You can tell that she's like. She's got a little bit more like. What's the word? She seems a little bit more like down to earth, I guess. And some of these other guys who are a little bit airy stuff, and she kind of comes over and says, yes, well, there is sometimes malcontent here, but it does not come from lack of resources or goods or the like. It comes only from personal disputes and that sort of thing. And you see that when you say that, you see that some of the other Dragonborne kind of like a little bit like, ooh, like we don't want to talk about that.
Oh, really?
And then she kind of like laughs a little bit at their reactions, and she says, yes, although we have what we want and everybody here, we all try to be the best we can be, and it doesn't mean that there isn't sometimes conflict. However, it very, very, very rarely leads to anything like violence. It is only of quiet discomfort.
Okay. Fine, and I say, thank you, and may I say your scales have a majestic luster to them, and I give her a pearl.
Oh, she kind of inspects it.
This is a beautiful thing.
And she kind of puts it in this leather pouch she has on her hip.
She says, and I appreciate what you say about my scales. I do take good care of them.
How do you take care of them?
There is a number of ointments and some such that create the shine that you see, while us that descend from metallic blood all have a natural shine. You can certainly enhance it.
Enoch's like lying right over the bar, like and talking to him.
He's lying on the bar. He can't lie. He can't go over it because he's not long enough. So he's just sitting on the bar.
Just leaning further and further towards her.
I'm getting a strong Puss in Boots vibe. Like a cat kind of stretched out on a bar, relaxing. At this, you see one of the others says,
Oh, yes, but in general we do our best to get along. It's rare such conflict happens.
and you see at this the person behind the bar kind of sniggers slightly, but you know, making a bit of a point, but nothing crazy.
So, if there is the ever so occasional dispute, are there people you bring in to solve conflicts between you?
Typically, it's conflict is normally resolved between the people themselves, or perhaps the people who are close to them.
So no. Even in the most rare of occasions?
Oh, well, what is it exactly you are asking?
I'm interested to know. You all seem to have your roles here. You tend this bar. There are craftspeople and artists. I just wonder if there are people like Tiashted, whose role it is to keep the peace that you all cultivate here.
There are certain individuals who, through their personality, find themselves embroiled in these kind of things more than others. However, there are no people who are dedicated to such a cause.
All right.
This is seems unusual to you.
Aye, that wouldn't go far in certainly where I'm from, or a lot of the places we find on our travels.
Oh, and for what reason is this?
Well, as Enoch was talking about earlier, lack of resources and other things often lead to disputes.
I have heard there are rumors in the outside world that there are dangers that lie around the place. You say that some of these come from the inhabitants themselves rather than any natural or otherwise phenomenal.
Oh, well, that happens too. Too much of this wine you're giving us here can often lead to all sorts of nonsense, especially from this one.
Yes. If you drink enough of this, it could even take down perhaps a large dragon.
Yeah, I've no doubt of that. So, dragons drink this, do they?
Yes, it's some of the most excellent drink I have ever crafted. It is most popular among our own and the Zelnav and the dragons themselves, yes.
Right. We should really stop him from drinking more of it.
Nice. Okay, so you're kind of able to, there's kind of, as you've explored already, there's kind of limitless hospitality, so there's always places to rest and bed down. So shall we maybe go ahead to the morning and you guys can decide where you want to go?
Do you want to check on the artist dude before? Or just try and find him tomorrow?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe just as a side, maybe you bed down somewhere nearby, and as you're like walking down the street, having maybe a little bit wobbly after having a few drinks and things, one of the locals is taking you to a place where they say they've got lots of space to rest. I'd say that Polana, you would notice that even though darkness has fallen, and that there are these, kind of equivalent to lampposts, so these glowing orbs lighting the streets and things, you'd see kind of in the shadows, like slightly off from the radius of one of the lights, you can see this guy hasn't slowed down at all.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Does it have any kind of effect on Polana again now that she's had a bit of a
Can I
drink?
still kind of see the face?
Especially now that she's
I
had a
would,
bit of a drink.
I would say
It's
that's
girl.
kind of
It's
gone,
not
yeah.
And my thorn, no, nothing from it.
No, nothing spooky going on.
Okay.
Nothing spooky other than your own, like, spook.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, we're gonna rest up then.
I'm
Enoch's going for a walk.
I think that pursuing Amicia should be our priority.
Is that like I'm picturing like a slightly dozy, slightly drunk Gesh bedding down and kind of saying that as you're all like settling down,
Yeah.
half sleepy, like some issues.
Where is he? Sorry, in this tavern.
Somebody's taking you to a place where like just an area where they've got places to rest, basically.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just someone's house, basically.
Sure.
You're still in
I'm
that
still in the
town.
thing.
Yeah.
What?
Everyone's. There's still people. There's still a few people in the bar still.
Yeah.
and you can
What
be
time
tired.
does the Bronze Dragonborne get off work?
As when you ask her that, she sort of says, "I am happy to continue serving drinks as long as people wish to have drinks served to them." Oh,
So-
French at the end.
That's
Served to
it.
them. A little dragonborn drinking my wine.
But I rolled a 25 for my persuasion.
I would say, James, it's better to like ask, say I want to do this. And then say I'm going to do it.
I'm taking the piss.
Oh, sure.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'm going to go for a walk, just scouting out. Are there any places that just don't look as nice? So any places that are more run down? Any places where?
This place is fucking angelic, mate.
No, I'm just like a bit,
So yeah, I'll say that by this point you're probably pretty drunk, pretty stumbly as you're walking down the streets, looking at stuff.
And he gets jumped.
And
And we are nowhere to be seen. They've all gone to bed.
Don't go out at night when the flying snakes come out.
A bit Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There's the angry Russian. Almost normal German. So you were kind of tossing around. You would walking around. I mean, not far from the bar. As you're, I'm picturing Enoch like. Tell me if this is wrong, but I just think it'd be kind of funny. Like Enoch, like because he's a bit pissed and like having a bit of fun. He's kind of like going like well stealth mode. He's a bit pissed, so he's a little bit like Crunk, like not as like silly, but like similar. So you're kind of like skulking around as though there's any threat, as though there's a threat around. And you're kind of looking around and like people come past and like you act normally and stuff and around. There's not much that's capturing your attention. Although, let me see. There was one thing I wanted to. As you're kind of wandering around the streets, you're looking around the place, and there's kind of nothing that's really catching your eye. And so you continue kind of walking around for a bit, maybe getting a smidge lost but enjoying it. And you suddenly hear that in the distance it's kind of like murmuring. It's like kind of like this weird little noise. You're kind of like, it's kind of strange. And so you go down and kind of go around to investigate. and you approach. As you follow the noise, you approach this area that's kind of quite poorly lit. But the buildings and everything is still all nice. It's just slightly darker here. It kind of seems kind of semi-residential, semi-art zone still. And you can hear this noise coming from down like an alleyway between two of the buildings.
Okay.
Where the cobbles kind of turn into grass and like trodden mud and that kind of thing. And you can see, I'll tell you what, when you need just a perception, it's not super critical.
Sure. Is there any like impairment to my perception from being a bit tipsy? Like a flat minus.
Yeah, we'll do a disadvantage, shall we?
Yeah.
Just for laugh. Because it's not super critical. It's be kind of fun.
7.
7. Okay. So you can see this just amorphous, shadowy figure down the alleyway. You can see it's kind of moving and riding around, and this noise you can now hear is kind of like this, as this figure's kind of like this clearly producing this voice, but is otherwise kind of hard to distinguish.
Okay. I am going to turn into a bat.
Okay, nice.
And fly past it. See what's up.
Sure. So as you fly past it, you see that it's actually a person.
Okay.
They
like a human.
No.
A Dragonborne. Yeah, fine. Dragonborne people.
And start graffitiing. The day we arrive.
We leave the Drovnar pigs.
It's just
like
like-
become a house.
Dragonborne aren't people. In a canteen.
Once a year. And like, we'll take revenge on that family. Just called it. So yeah, as you flutter past as a bat, you see that it's a Dragonborne. You see that they clearly were wearing these robes. You can't make out the colour in the dark, but they're all kind of torn and scratched up. And you see that they're kind of like ripping at them and pulling at them and kind of squirming around and twitching, almost like having a little fit. The whole while they're like essentially speaking in tongues, making all these weird noises that they're like fucking freaking out.
All right.
Is this like what
All
they're
right.
saying? Is that like distinguishably different from Draconic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks like fluttering around. What the fuck?
You drunk bat.
Yeah.
Bumping into walls and shit.
I've had a fermented apple fruit. Just a fruit bat, mate. This guy's fucking mental anyway. All right. Oh well, I'm gonna disguise myself as Tiashted.
Okay.
And walk up to him and well, I don't know why I assume it's a guy.
I
Is it
think
a guy or a girl?
I
I
think
can't really tell, it's dark.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm gonna
We'll
walk
say it's
up.
a woman, I think, for this one.
A woman,
Yeah.
sure. Sexist of me. Yeah, I disguise myself as Tiashted and walk up to.
Yeah, you got to give me the accent, right?
Years.
Nice. Okay, and then they're kind of they're not looking at you as you approach.
Ah, well. Let's brush over why Tiashted is speaking to another Dragonborne in common. And I'm just gonna go, my child, what is wrong?
They just kind of continue like ripping and tearing at them. So you can see that they're even starting to, now that you see them closely, you see that they're actually starting to scratch themselves a little bit as well.
Okay. Can I try and move the person? Yeah, what happens?
So what are you trying to do?
Just like, there, my child, we get you somewhere safe.
As in, like,
It literally was a Russian voice, wasn't it?
sort of similar. I like it. It's what Enoch thinks it was anyway.
Yeah, I haven't done many Russian voices before.
No, it's the accent's better, but probably better than mine. It's just funny. Okay, so you're kind of like trying to like blanket them up a bit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Get them up. You see that as you do that, you kind of hold them kind of affectionately, kind of like, come on now, get up. And you see that there's like a minute where they kind of pause and stare at you, and they just say something that's clearly in Dragonborne. And why don't you make an insight?
Dragonborne and Draconic are the same thing.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, just
Thank fuck for that.
But this is also
The different version.
yeah.
14.
Elder Draconic.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because normal
Draconic.
normal Dragonborn, like people, are like just straight up speaking the same language that dragons speak, which I think is kind of cool. Like, you know, the power of the Thum. Yes. So what did you get?
14.
14. Okay. So you can't. The only thing you can really detect in this facial expression is an element of panic. You're not really sure what they said, but it comes across as a moment of clarity.
Okay.
And then after like a second or two, they kind of go back into their fitting state.
I'm just going to make generalizable soothing noises. Like, like there, my
There, my child. We must get you to the
Soothing noises in Russian.
Oh, come now, babushka.
Why don't you give me a medicine check?
Okay. Do my soothing words? Not 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. You see that as they kind of like slow down a minute and then kind of pause, and they kind of like brush you off them for a minute and like scutter back against the wall, and you see that they're just kind of like hyperventilating for a minute, kind of like looking around really panicked, and then they just stand up and suddenly are like seem quite together and with it after a second of like calming down, and they just say and begin speaking in their form of Draconic, but they seem like they're just kind of saying normal stuff, like they're sort of saying like, well, I mean, you don't know what they're saying.
Yeah, no clue. Right, cool.
All it took was some soothing Russian words and you broke a spell.
Yes.
No.
But it is. No, I don't know what it is.
You don't know.
Now I can't change back into myself and just instantly just trim it the fuck out again. Like, literally instantly fades back to being mental. I'll continue to make the soothing noises and just beckon him, and put my arm round her and sort of try to sort of walk her back into sort of the more well lit bit. I'm just going to make a note of this area as well, just like. Can I make like a active perception check to see if anyone's like looking around, or if there's anything like suspicious about any of the houses or anything that this person was nearby or something?
Yeah, sure. Give me a perception check.
23.
23. Okay. So I would say that there's nothing around which is particularly out of the
I can
ordinary.
also add to it. Would you like me to add to it with a D10?
The what you've done is fine. So the area itself, as you look around, doesn't seem particularly different from anywhere else. I would say, however, that this person, as you're kind of like beckoning them, gesturing them, you see that they're kind of seem slightly put off by your like demeanour now. Like they're like seem a bit like, oh, this person's like acting a bit strange.
Oh, I see.
However, what you would notice with that perception check is that it's very hard to make out ever so slightly. You can see almost in the backs of their eyes a similar sort of glowing essence to what you saw when you walked past the painter who was kind of going mental.
Okay.
But it's hard. It's like you can struggle. Like you're not 100% sure it was even there. Like, it's very subtle. But you definitely have an inkling.
Okay. And is the person coming, or are they resisting, or like
No, they're kind of like you're kind of like this, and then they begin like asking you a question. They're kind of going no, and you're kind of just oh well, I know. What's your response to that?
I step back into the shadows, turn back into Enoch, and step out.
Oh, okay, sure.
No, I don't know. I thought they might be like dangerous and like I'm so recognisable here. It's like 5 people.
I don't think it was a bad move being
Yeah.
touched. I don't think you necessarily expected them to.
Yeah. So I thought he was gonna maybe go a different way.
You get through that 20 on the medicine, mate.
Yeah. The old bad Nat 20. I'd have much preferred them to stay mental. I actually would have as well. So I'll just, if they're like, are they coming or are they getting more and more like booped out by me, like not replying?
Yeah, so I'll say, so if you're kind of continuing not to reply, and you're kind of like maybe doing a sort of face a minute, after a minute, they're just kind of like.
Maybe I'll say in common, just like just actually reply, just like, my friend, you're gravely ill. You must come with me. We must get you medicine.
They just kind of continuing to. They say a sentence in Dragonborne, and just at the end say, fine, okay, like that. It's almost slightly flustered, slightly frustrated, almost.
My friend, look, and I gesture down at all the scratches and stuff, and like, you are not yourself.
With that, she kind of like steps back. She like looks down and like steps back and like kind of like gives you a bit of a frown and just kind of goes to hurry off, basically.
Okay.
Just back into email.
I'm fine. I let her go off though. I let her go off, but I'm gonna follow her in stealth. See where she goes.
Okay, sure. So yeah, you see that she kind of is like, as she's walking, give me a stealth just because of this the rule. It's not easy.
29.
Oh, I think she can just about see you. No. So yeah, you kind of follow her for a while. You see that she kind of taking her robe. You see that she's like this kind of glow comes from her hands, and you see that she like basically just repairs her robe and repairs the damage to her chest as well. As she's walking along, and she just kind of continues down this district and heads off for a minute before just going into one of the buildings nearby, probably like 3 houses down or so.
From where I found her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she goes in. There's these not like glass windows, but just holes in the wall. Basically, I'll say that you're maybe peering through, seeing what she's up to, and you see that she just is essentially behaving very normally. She goes over to a pot of some kind of tea that's been on the boil. She pours herself a drink and just kind of sits down and peacefully begins slurping away, and looks like she's kind of deep in thought.
Is there anyone else in there?
No, it's just her.
Just her.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Can I make a note of where that house is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you can get back to it.
Yeah.
In our minds.
Okay, cool. So with that, I save it up a bit. You know.
Yeah, a bit jarring. Gonna snatch her out of it a bit.
Yeah.
Bit of adrenaline.
Yeah. Go and find.
Yeah, maybe you've got a link or something to find where those guys ended up going or something. You can just about hear whispers of dreams coming from your comrades.
Gosh. Gay. So gay.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I know. It's not an insult. It's not an insult. It's
And
just
then I
what Jess is
respond and
thinking
I'm
about.
like, so observant.
And then he responds with, "Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that." Okay, yeah. So you kind of go in and everyone's kind of snoozing away, and you're maybe a little bit like, always like, I kind of want to talk about what's happened, but so you probably get into a bed and slightly like eager to discuss, but know that
you would wake one of us, wouldn't you, with that?
Oh, maybe.
With
Yeah,
what
maybe.
Enoch's like, yeah.
I'm probably just going to ever so slightly implant an image in Gesh's mind of me naked while he sleeps.
You see the duvet cover right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Does Gesh have a human dick or a lizard dick?
I've been thinking about this.
I think he has a lizard dick, doesn't he?
I've been thinking.
No, it's like that's.
The reason I'm doing this is because loads of the guys here are A lot of them don't wear clothes. And basically, I think I'm going to go with like reptile rules, where they've got them, but they're internal, and then they come out when it's time to do stuff.
And is it a full lizard dick when it comes out? Or is it an internal human dick?
No, it's not like a human dick. With
Like a telescopic feature, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, it is pretty dope. That's good. Yeah, no, just kind of like, you know, a flap will open and then a reptilian penis will flop out.
I've got to see what a lizard dick looks like.
Do you?
Mate, this session, I've also googled that.
Or maybe you could be like a snake, which have 2 dicks.
Dick.
Do they?
Snakes have 2 dicks.
What?
Don't know. Well, so when
Back
snakes,
up.
it might be something.
Back up.
I'm completely guessing, but when snakes fuck, it's quite sweet actually. They completely coil around one another like a helix, and so maybe having 2 means it's just more likely to actually get where it needs to go. So if you're just 2 snakes,
Is it like 2 like this, or like 1 on the back?
No,
and
they
one on the
both-
front?
they come out. It's kind of like one. It's like their tongue, like and they come like this, and they've got little spines on them. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. That shit fucking hurts.
Did you just type in lizard dick?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what I googled as well.
Every night.
I googled why do snakes have 2 penises, and the top thing is alligators are always erect.
Well, call me an alligator.
I didn't realise an alligator was my spirit animal.
Yeah, did you see that the in terms of what we understand about reptilian emotion and stuff like that, in crocodiles and alligators, the most developed part of their emotional part of their brain is that experiences jealousy.
Oh!
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like really like, oh, I fucking want that. Or like, obviously we interpret jealousy as a very human emotion,
Yeah.
probably very different for them, but yeah, it's the same kind of thing, which is quite funny.
I need it.
Yeah.
Does Enoch wake anyone up?
It's pretty crazy to be fair. what's
Yeah,
happened.
I'd probably say, who am I going to wake? I don't think I'd wake everyone. I'd wake I think Pilana.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's like a paladin, Healy, person.
Mhm.
So you don't wear your armour to sleep, do you?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
Maybe when you're on the road you might,
Yeah.
but here,
Yeah, do you-
I feel.
because I'm imagining for you, with like a Fey Eladrin armor, it's probably not like uncomfortable plate that's like really
Yeah,
janky.
yeah.
It's probably quite
Quite mossy.
Comfortable. Yeah.
but
But to be fair, if none of the like artist stuff had happened, and if there hadn't been that kid that was talking about people disappearing, that might have taken it off.
you still got a little paranoia.
Actually, with that, I'm
yeah.
going, something's going on here. I don't really trust it,
Mhm.
so I probably would keep it on.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna with my with a dagger. I'm just gonna tap on the plate. Oh no, it's not plate, is it?
Well, it's
It
metal plate. Yeah.
It is metal, is it? Okay. For some reason, I thought it was like like enchanted bark kind of like plate.
No, it's got like lots of metal leaves and stuff.
Oh, it's
on
it's like
them,
it's just
that's,
like
decorative.
gilded metal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Fine.
exactly.
Okay. Maybe with one of my long like yellowy fingernails. I'm
Ding,
just
ding,
gonna
ding.
just gonna tap on the plate and just make this horrible scratching sound.
And I think with that,
And I go shh.
probably out from like under my pillow or something, would pull a knife straight out and be like up and alert immediately, and be like, Enoch, what is it?
So can I just add as well? You might not want this, but maybe like not even by your control as well. Maybe your thorns kind of like writhing a little bit.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
We're wanting to strike.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Don't let me. Yeah. So yeah, you say, yeah, you know what do you want to view?
How loudly do you say that?
I mean, relatively loudly. It's just us in a room, right? It's just us on our own, yeah.
Is it like hushed, like Enoch? What?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Not.
I think that probably would have worked.
Because I
for
didn't-
Gash.
Oh, you reckon? Light
Yeah,
sleeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I'd assume like as travelling adventures, we're all quite light sleepers. You know?
Yeah. And like,
Apart
I
from
guess,
Dorwin is like.
it would be.
Just like falling asleep with a book on him.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of interesting thing to think about as well for you guys who are all adventurers, because whenever, just something that's the rule is whenever you, for like all of your journey, there'd always be at least one or two of you on watch during the night. So perhaps when you're in, and you do that for so long as you have recently, maybe when you're in these calm situations, it's almost hard to like relax when
relax,
somebody's
yeah.
not on lookout.
Yeah, that's
so maybe
true.
you're a little bit more sensitive in your sleep as well. Yes. Okay, so as he says that, Gesh, you kind of rouse up.
Yeah. It's just sort of. It's not. And overhearing that it's Enoch talking to Polana, I don't necessarily sort of say anything, but I'll sort of wake up and sit up and listen.
Sure.
And I say, you were interested in that painter, weren't you?
Yes. Did you learn more about him?
Well, not of the artist, but I went for a midnight stroll, smoked my pipe, and came across a bizarre occurrence. There was there's no other way to say it. This Dragonborne, she was fucking mental.
It was the bronze lady from the tavern.
Fucking wild, mate. Best time of my life. Anyway, good night.
She's waiting for us. Let's go back.
Polana's like, you woke me for this.
She said she wanted me to bring my friends. Come on.
Yeah, come on, Polana, we gotta go. We gotta go, Polana.
She's got a lizard badge. It's crazy. There's like 5 of them.
It's like full Rick mode.
Come on, Polana. We gotta go.
It's mine. Ruling. Yeah.
Snakes have 2 dicks. That means female snakes have 2 badges. She only wants the reason.
Polana, it's been a wild night. You've missed a lot.
We gotta go.
What did you actually say? I can't remember now.
It's what bizarre sight. This saw this woman who was basically mental.
At this point, I'd probably wake the others.
Okay.
So I'll go over and kind of wake you guys and be like, Enoch's discovered something. Go on, Enoch.
Well, as I went for a midnight stroll, just checking out the town, and in one of the areas there was a woman. She looked like she didn't have control of her senses. She was scratching at herself and had a malevolent look in her eye, and I don't really know what to make of it. I tailed her back to her house, and she seems all right now, just pondering, but it was very unusual.
What do you feel the connection was to the artist?
So the artist had the same malevolent look in his eye as he was fervorously painting, and there was just something about how they moved, the repetitive jerky motions which looked so beautiful from the artist, but were distorted and ugly, but somehow the same with this woman.
And she's fine now, you say?
Well, I didn't want to give ourselves away, as we're quite noticeable, conspicuous here. So I disguised myself as a Dragonborne and snapped her out of her trance. But I don't know. Given that this cult is legendary for their mind control, I think it might be another piece of the puzzle.
Interesting. Clearly there's something afoot in this town. Perhaps now the rest of you rest and I will take a look out till the morning.
I think one of us should keep an eye on this woman in case she disappears or something else happens to her. Maybe one of us should stand guard outside her house, and in the morning when she wakes we can question her.
I'm used to being unobserved. I don't mind doing that.
And also, maybe we should check on the artist in the pavilion. Because we do not yet know how the extent of these seizures.
How long has it been since we left the pub, the bar?
Probably about Since you guys left,
Mm.
say like 3 hours.
Okay. And the artist was still going when we left, wasn't it? Is it worth us checking now if he's still hard at work? Okay. Enoch, why don't you... Can you remember your way back to this woman's house?
Is a bat blind?
No.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
I don't have a Scooby
Okay. Well, why don't you go and stand guard outside her door and give us a shout if through your telepathic link if anything happens, and we'll go and talk to this artist and see if he's still around.
Sure.
In
Do we have any like for food? How do people imagine doing it? Like we have our own supplies and like own rations, or there's like a communal thing of like.
Surely we share, right?
Well,
I think it's because you do a lot of like hunting and gathering for us. Right?
Usually,
Or,
why?
like, yeah.
no, I'm just curious about like what, like.
I think, well, I have been imagining we all carry our own shit because that's just like division of labour.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah,
all
I've
sort of
got-
throw in for.
Yeah, like, we've all got our own ration packs. Maybe like while we're travelling, we're maybe we're set up camp.
Sure.
She gets us a rabbit.
the odd occasion that you've had steeds and wagons, probably chuck a bunch of stuff in there. rather than,
Yeah.
I won't be in a place like this.
All right, I'm gonna make myself a sandwich and then go. And,
Just a ration sandwich. A ration.
It's like cracker, dry rice cracker.
cracker, spit, dry rice, spit, cracker.
Can't have bread without butter.
Right, all of us going to the pavilion. Or
I mean, I will,
do you
but
want someone to come with you? Is that a bad idea?
Well, that would be nice. It's lonely work.
Okay. Well, I'm famously stealthy, so. Okay, I'll go with you.
Can a druid turn into a cell?
That's a question for you, mate.
Can you be a tardigrade? I reckon so. I guess probably not. You can't see it, though, can you? You can see cells.
We don't
Dude,
use that. We
but
don't
they-
use
but
that word anymore.
Tardigrade, he's talking about.
Why?
What's wrong?
Like retard.
Oh, he was just doing
Yeah, it sounds like a place you go to rank them.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I can turn into like a mouse or something.
and Oscar has a target grade of C-.
Well, that's kind of that's average. Is it good to have an A rating or an F rating?
A is severe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Also, do tardigrades even exist in Irrigest?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Full of them.
Everywhere, man.
They're everywhere.
It's all
That's actually what Orenthal is.
Dragons was really big ones.
And he's rated A+.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going to go there.
Yeah.
Would you like to come with me to the...
Seeing as I was the one that snapped you out of it earlier, I feel sort of worried that you may be entranced again by seeing the artist. So yes, I absolutely will be coming.
And Dorwood, what would you like to do?
I ask that actually, Dorwin, you would assist us also in case the magic were to overpower me too.
Very well.
And I say, don't worry, don't worry, really.
Why do you keep calling me that?
What's happening?
It's actually kind of mental because like something Enoch might actually do, like
Yeah.
this weird like
Ty! Oh,
you know like when you accidentally like call a teacher mum or something.
Yeah.
Oops.
Sorry, Chloe. I don't think I've ever done that.
I've called.
Yeah, all the time.
I think I've called like 2 different girlfriends mum back.
Oh goodness
I know.
me.
but what does it
Get back to
mean?
the
Yeah.
Yeah, I weirdly call my girlfriend's dad. I don't know what that's about.
Daddy.
I call my dad girlfriend all the time.
Wrong way round.
Oh
Oh yes, I'm dirty daddy.
Just going up to your dad, being like, "Join me, Rachel."
Yeah. Anyway, so we go to our design areas. Yeah. Okay. So you guys go and stake out this house. You see that by this point, she's not in the area she was. Probably gone up to bed or something. You might have a little look around, see if there's any. I'll tell you what. Yeah. Why don't you give me a survival, please? Maybe really would be better equipped for this.
With advantage, I'm helping you, maybe if you need it.
Yeah, that works.
$17.
Okay, no, that's decent. So I would say that looking around after not long, although it is a bit hard on the cobble, you're still experienced enough to identify where you can see her footsteps coming in. You haven't seen any coming out. I'd say perhaps while Enoch's maintaining the stakeout, perhaps just out of your own interest, you maybe follow them back to where she was, which isn't very far away.
Yeah.
And just to confirm everything, and you can very distinctly see a patch in the dust where, and in the grass where it's all flattened and strange, and you can see claw marks in the ground and stuff like that.
Any of her like?
Yeah, maybe a couple of little rags of clothes
so,
around and stuff. Yeah.
So it wasn't just lying for.
You guys had a mental night. Actually, I was just passed out in the town.
You were the one.
It was just a mirror the whole time.
I did have a top-down hallucination.
And TS actually come in.
Nice trick, me. Tony, yes, like, who the fuck is this freak?
Okay, yeah. So you continue. You guys go back over to the painter, still painting away.
Okay.
Would you
No
like
signs
to-
of like slowing down or anything?
No.
Say some soothing words at him.
With the Russian accent.
Super effective.
I suggest we approach him and we try and break him from this trance.
Okay.
Knowing what we now know about Enoch's interaction with the Dragonborne lady in the alleyway.
Okay. So we'll kind of. Dawn, do you want to maybe stay back a little bit just in case he's got
Just in
some
case
magic
anything
he
happens,
can do,
sure.
and,
Maybe.
I think I'd like to go into the house as well when they're done.
Okay, sure.
So we'll go over to him and I'll just kind of say, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt your work, but would you have a moment to have a quick talk?
As you say that, you see, now that you're a lot closer as well, you can hear he is muttering something under his breath.
What? Is it Draconic?
No, it's something. What languages do you guys speak?
It's mental.
I can speak Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish and Gnomish.
Okay.
Am I in earshot?
But maybe when they hear it, they could say, because I would say when you speak to him. Well, yeah. Tell me your languages first.
Elvish, Gnomish, Sylvan.
Okay. So no, it doesn't sound like. I would say that for you, Pilana, maybe just through like your training and stuff, you don't recognise what it is. I feel like you would probably be able to pick it out as some kind of dark speech. It's like indicative of like maybe some of the things you've learned about during your training.
Characteristics of dark
the
languages.
way it generally sounds. You maybe have come across before. But otherwise, you go say something. Doesn't really seem to take much notice. You can maybe ask Dorwin because you know that he understands a lot of things. He speaks a lot of languages.
Potentially. Right, go on, your call.
Got you. So he's just completely blanked me.
Mm-hmm.
He has. Has he had any kind of acknowledgement of him, but just chosen to ignore him, or is it just that he hasn't even perceived?
It seems like it's
there?
just washed over him.
Okay, so he's literally barely hasn't even noticed. Okay.
Can I might, because I kind of want to keep Dorwin almost secret,
Yeah.
just in case
yeah.
he tries to attack us, and Dorwin can kind of try and help.
Just a quick, just out of interest, like, what languages does Dorwin speak?
Common, draconic, druidic, dwarvish, elvish, gnomish, goblin, halfling, orc, and common.
Of course he does.
Also, I've got the Ring of Understanding, right?
That's like
That's a
writing.
text, yeah.
Mm,
Write me a thing.
interesting. Yes, I'm thinking of another way we used too. Okay, so
Maybe our Gesh, with seeing that Polana has had no success, I will then sort of step forward, raise my voice slightly, and try to speak to him in Draconic and address him and say, "Excuse me, sir." You know.
okay, yeah. I'll tell you what. With this one, because it's maybe a little bit more directed, why don't we make some kind of check? Which ones are there? I tell you what. Why don't we go with intimidation? I know you're not trying to intimidate them, but I know that you're kind of trying to.
Trying to snap him.
Yeah, maybe the most appropriate skill check.
18.
18. Okay. I would say that a similar kind of thing happens to that person who had the vet, where they look at you briefly and then immediately go back to what they were doing.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of maybe gently but like firmly put my hand on his shoulder and just say, "Excuse me, can you hear us?"
Needs to be in a Russian accent.
Do you want to try an intimidation as well, just for the sake of the roll? Well, I think actually maybe yours is more persuasion actually, because you're like slightly softer.
We'll try as well.
But if you've done a roll, we'll take the dice roll and do the modifiers rather than re-roll it.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Oh, it's actually better. Wait, hang on. 12.
12. Okay. Yeah, I'd say there's probably still not much coming through.
Okay.
Alright, cool. So with that, Gesh is sort of going to take the initiative. I'm going to take loosen part of my cloak, and then I'm going to sort of wrap it into a bit of a bandage, and I'm going to put it over his head to try and break his vision from to like break his vision from his eyes to the canvas, and just see if we can sort of not restrain him, but just sort of see if it snaps. And it's
How
not
put
to
the
do.
cape over the canvas?
Yeah,
Why
I was
do you
gonna
like
say,
strangle
let's
him?
move the canvas.
Right, so
but,
Yeah, no,
I know.
It's night time.
Balana is horrified at this point.
but I'm
Ah,
not
it's a
doing.
mentally unwell man. Strangle him.
No, it's not to strangle him at all. It's
No,
just to cover his head.
As you do, you see that as he's painting like that, he like lifts the brush off the canvas for a minute, and as he does so, this kind of streak of fire comes out from the painting and just incinerates your entire cloak, and he just continues doing what he's doing. So you're now cloaked down.
Shit.
Can I try and move the painting?
Yeah, sure.
How big is the painting?
It's sort of like quite a fairly largish canvas, not enormous, but yeah.
And it's just a canvas. It's...
Yeah. As
There's a
you,
flamethrower behind it.
Yeah.
as you go to move it initially just a bit, he could just kind of follows it. Would you like to try and
like fully turn it out of his way?
Sure, yeah. As you do, you see that he just kind of like looks around for a minute and is like almost as though he's like looking for the canvas, but has no idea where it's actually gone.
Okay.
Kind of like object permanence in a way.
Yeah.
And after a second or so, you see that his whisperings get kind of slower and like eventually kind of slow down, and you can see this glow in his eyes begin to like fade a little bit into the background. One of you give me a perception with advantage.
What's the lighting situation?
It's fairly dark. Yeah, there's lights around, but you're kind of on the extent radius of, you know, when there's like lampposts.
Oh, that's
across.
20.
That's 20. Okay, you can see that even though the glow seems to be almost entirely dissipating, it's still present. As I say, it's like what I described with Enoch as well. Like you can see it
In the back of his eyes.
Yeah, but it's because you obviously can't see into the back of someone's eyes, but you can you know, okay.
So you've turned the canvas away from him, basically, yeah.
Yeah. I might like set it down on a table so it's face down, so he still can't see it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yes, and as you do, he says,
Hello, what the time is it? It seems late.
Yes, Clownwash, is it?
Yes, you are I heard whispers of travelers come to this place. This must be you, correct?
Yes, that is us. You've been painting for quite some time. Are you okay?
Ah, yes, I've been painting for years, yes. It's my favorite thing to do.
No, I mean, everyone else has gone to bed. You were here on your own.
And the fact that you did not recognise that night had fallen.
Oh.
You were entranced.
Yes, I do tend to get a bit enamoured in my work sometimes.
Can I ask you what it is that you were drawing?
Yes, just some of my usual works. I had a particular affinity for Kinath recently, the flowing hot pools. It's quite marvellous. The way the water trickles down from them, it's most beautiful.
Can I ask what your normal paintings are?
Yes, it's of course, I would like to show you them if I can. They are all equal caliber. I am particularly, what's the word? I'm particularly enamoured by Kristjek. I would say potentially even more so than the average person who lives here. So I like to explore the beauty of flowing streams and such.
Okay, so you believe that you've been painting a Kinath, but can I ask what this is then? I show him the
He says, Krishtek. Oh no, the place, yeah, Kinath, yes. He says, yes, it's exactly as I described. You don't see it?
Because didn't you say it's incredibly abstract?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it just
So
looks like
he's something different.
like this kind of infernal mass with like these strange, floating kind of brimstone rocks and things like that.
That's what we see.
And you still see that.
Okay.
But he sees that he's painting Kinath.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what he's saying anyway.
Yeah.
Clownwash, have you come into contact with anyone strange recently, or anything weird happened to you?
Beyond meeting you now, no, nothing. Why do you ask?
Well, I don't mean to distress you, but what I see on this painting is not what you are describing.
Well, that is the nature of art, my friend.
But I am inclined to also agree with my comrade that
I just message Polyplana and say, is it safe for me to come?
Yeah, and I'll kind of wave to her.
Also, when I message, the person I messaged him reply in a whisper, I hear,
Oh, okay.
come over.
So with that nat 20 as well,
Mhm.
when Polana shows the painting again to Clownwash, is there any sort of flicker in his eye of that yellow sort of?
Nothing seems
Energy
to
coming
come out.
back.
I would say though, actually, with the just rolling off the nat 20 as well, I'd say that when it was revealed to you after having not looked at it for a minute, I would say for like a subliminal fraction of a second, you very clearly see this same face within it as well.
Oh yeah, because I didn't see it as well earlier on, but then
kind of confirmed what you think, but then also it was so subliminal and quick, it's still kind of a bit of a head fuck. Because I would say that for both of you, after having seen it and then not seen it, looking at it, you're like, how the fuck did I possibly see this within this? But nonetheless, it wasn't like a picture that was suddenly imposed on top of the picture. It just seemed to like be what it is.
Right,
If that makes
okay.
sense.
Can I describe the face to him and say, like, I can't quite.
Sure,
exactly
let's say what you
I
say.
didn't see his face today.
No.
Does this sound like anyone that you've seen or spoken to or know of in the city?
No, it's the description is not features I've ever heard of someone.
So have you kept the painting still facing him now as well?
He's
as
I've
you
now
asked-
got it. He hasn't seemed to like react.
Yeah, yeah.
towards it.
I was wondering if we might set him off again. That's all.
Yeah.
He says, you say it's not Dragonborne person, no?
No.
You're the first I've met.
I'd like to use my illusion to create an illusionary copy of the painting and say, Kristjek, tell me what you see here. And I'll make an illusion of it, just stood there.
Interesting. He says, This is interesting magic. It is some kind of place of fire. It is quite interesting. How do you come up with such thing?
Well, this is what we see when we look at your painting.
Well, it's my paintings through my they come from my blood. They are express in many different ways. The fact that you see such an extreme difference is, well, I take it as a great compliment.
Artist in This guy's way too much of an artist.
These are the same thing.
You are a very good artist.
Yes, I see many parallels in the emotion of the pictures. A healing place and a fiery hell. It's so different when you really think about it. My name is, you can call me Hotnack.
Oh, just grab his head and start smashing it on the floor. Oh, you fucking idiot.
Okay, well, perhaps it's time for you to go and get some rest, Clownmash.
Yes, I must say I'm very, very hungry. I think it's time for me to eat.
Would it be okay if I were to hold on to this painting for the time being?
Of course. Although I would wish for it to be on display, if that's okay, when you're done enjoying it.
Of course. Yeah.
He says, before I go, I know not your names. What do I call you?
I apologise for my lack of decorum. I'm Balana. My friend here is Gesh, and this is Dorwin.
Well, it is very nice to meet the three of you. I'll hope to see more of you soon.
Tell me, Christian, where do you rest? Where might we find you?
I live I live at the bottom end of what's this place called?
Bastard place?
I know this is where Lyra.
Bastard town.
We're in Lyra.
Is it Lyra?
Yeah.
Oh, Lyreth. Yeah. He says Lyreth.
He says I live down towards the bottom of Lyreth. My house is the one with the red tarpaulin over the top. If you wish to visit me at any time, feel free.
And with that, he basically just takes like one step forward, and as he does, he kind of like just sinks into the floor.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was all our imagination. Cool. Did you want to do the house?
Oh yeah, should we do the house?
Yeah, sure. So,
One sec.
yeah.
I'll turn to the two of Dorwin and Polana, and I say, the fact that Clownmash was seeing Keenath, I think we head there immediately.
I agree.
Okay, nice. Okay, so
Is that's the place where the girl is being?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
okay, so do you sort of say to Ree, I'm going in?
Well, maybe we've like met up and the kind of
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
that interaction's probably about 20-30 minutes. So like we've had some,
Yeah, maybe a bit less than that.
but that's
Yeah,
fine.
10, 15, yeah.
10-15, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So we've just kind of sitting on the side in some sort of dark undercover, just propped up. I've got a low stick on the go, just with my hat brim pulled down. But every time I drag, the embers from the stick just like lights up the underside of under the brim of the hat.
Just a quick as well while I'm here. Can everyone except for Polana give me constitutions just to see how you're doing with not getting much sleep? Polana, you've basically got 6 out of your 8 hours. So,
13.
23.
23, okay, nice.
13.
Okay.
Mate, my +6 con save now comes in
okay.
absolutely
Roll a 6.
Ooh, okay. So you two we'll just do 1 point of exhaustion in the new rules where it's just -1 to every roll until you get
Can we not just go to bed now?
I mean, you can do it, but I mean, these guys are
still
he's
doing
set up, I
stuff,
suppose.
Sure,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
Gesh wants to go back to bed, he can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a question about spellcasting. If you're preparing a smell, like
Smells.
spell,
I'm preparing to smell what I do.
Just ruin it.
whilst we're weighing it, do you have to cast it immediately once the ritual time is up?
Ooh, that's a good question. So what you can do in the rules is, you know how you can like prepare an action, like if there's nothing to do on your turn, you can be like, if someone comes through the door, I strike them.
Yeah.
You can do that with a spell too.
Just walking around, just permanently like.
But and in the rules, if you do that with a spell, it's supposed to use up your spell slot even if you don't end up casting it. I personally don't really like that, because I think it dissuades spellcasters from preparing spells.
Yeah.
Spell slot's kind of valuable. I don't really see how it balances things. But in terms of I think we'd have to say it's probably spell dependent. Just
Okay, well,
so-
I was going to cast Detect Magic, it takes 10 minutes. I can just do it here on the whole house, but it would be useful to know if there's even anything like...
Well, so
what's in there or-
Detect Magic is a spell that I think lasts for like an hour,
Yeah.
and it's like centered around you.
So I just cast it now and just have it
If
going
you
on.
walked around, the Detect
Okay.
Magic would be going on the whole time.
So let's say in the last 10 minutes I've been doing that whilst we're just staying out.
Chatting and.
You're like, she's speaking in tongues! She's doing it!
Not you as well, Rudy. Just bonk off.
Just making Russian sounds at me. Like,
Yeah, we're just like.
it actually takes like 20 minutes to cast. You know, keep annoying it.
Singing like Russian folk songs.
Does Rudy want a Rudy? Do you want a life stick?
Yet.
Fair enough.
With your Detect Magic, you just detect abyssal magic. Yes. Okay.
You
so
detect some funky shit.
just glowing black. Okay.
All of Enoch, just a black shape.
So you cast a spell. What was it like when you cast Detect Magic
Well, I guess I'm
as a ritual?
muttering over. Again, like I think I'm gonna use one of these like things that are keeping my braids and stuff. So that's kind of like something to base
Like
on.
a focus.
Yeah, and it is like so I'm building something, or it's like I'm sewing or doing like
Some
it's
kind of
called
little
crochet.
craftwork,
Yeah, and that kind of builds into like a glowing kind of reddish.
Maybe a few carving.
Ah, that's brilliant. Yeah. So like whittling something. Yeah, and it kind of builds into this kind of like reddish tinged to light. That's quite like intense and like a really deep hue. And then I sort of like blow that out into the ether.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
Nice.
it kind of hits into like however far it goes.
Yeah, I like as well, because the spells detect magic. Maybe that like red glow and stuff, something you can see. You can kind of see it like shimmering around, and then it gets like more subtle as you like.
Yeah, the further it goes, it kind of dissipates into.
I also just quite like the idea of you like carving like some kind of rune, or like carving some kind of spirit, which like gradually gets more and more ethereal until it like becomes a
beautiful.
yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah. So you go in. Let me just check the.
Bosh, just
Yeah.
quickly, read that bottom thing. It says you're a cunt.
Let me check something.
Just like my sister what I was doing. She's
Yeah.
telling me that.
No slice pizza.
Yeah.
So short answer, yes. But yes, it would, and I've decided what it would be too.
Okay, it's yours.
Yeah, you can have it. It's fine.
Oh, sorry. You
No,
can
no,
have a
no.
barbecue one if you want.
Prefer that.
I'll have a slice of that as well. They can have a slice.
Yeah, of course. If anyone wants to finish up, it's welcome to. Okay, so you cast the Detect Magic.
The stream is just pizzas flying around.
And it's pizza magic!
Magic hands passing like 3 pizza boxes.
Yes. So when you cast detect magic, you do detect something. It's emanating from the room above, which is where you're assuming this person is sleeping.
Yeah.
And normally you get a particular glow that corresponds to a certain magical school.
Yeah.
There's conjuration, necromancy, evocation, abjuration, transmutation, divination, enchantment, and illusion. And this one, the magic that you're detecting, it's not. And I'm assuming that you've practiced and with your training and stuff, learn what all of them look like and everything.
Yeah.
It's none of them. It's also a lot more quiet.
Okay.
It's also slightly distorted, slightly warped.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get a grasp on, but there's something going on.
Okay, cool. So I'll sort of, having done this, I'll whisper to Enoch, like, I think she's in the room upstairs. There's something weird going on with her. I can't tell what it is, but she's under some kind of spell, or she's it's not something I've ever seen before.
Can you also, give me an, I guess it'd be more fitting for you to do a nature check rather than arcana, based on your type of magic.
Oh, yeah. 14?
Okay, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I say to Polana, right, so, sorry, Rudy. Anyone but Rudy is who I'm talking to. So I say, right, Rudy, why? So you're saying there's something funny going on in the upstairs room, eh?
Yes.
All right. So, well, for the good of the cause and the quest, we should probably take a look, shouldn't we?
Oh, I think so. Yes.
Right, let's have your stealths.
How to get in though?
Right. Well.
No locks on these doors, baby.
No.
Nope.
Fine.
Idiots. Let's walk right in.
It's is it dim light?
It's dark here, dark light.
Wonderful. 25.
Nice.
18.
18, nice. You're both mildly quiet.
Sweet. Right. What's the plan?
Sorry, I was just thinking, like the whole, the joke when somebody's sneaking around in a cartoon and they've got rubber ducks stuck on their feet going you know what I'm talking about?
Never seen
It's like a thing in cartoons and stuff when someone's trying to sneak around and it's and they look down and there's rubber ducks on their feet. I'm just picturing that, but for Rudy it's actual ducks. Her feet have just turned into
kick
ducks.
it away and it turns back into feline.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, very sneaky. So you go up. So this house, as I say, it's made of kind of large, finely cut stone bricks. The interior is all stone. There's really nice cushions on stone chairs and sofas. There's a kind of a fire pit which extends out from the wall, which is where they seem to do their cooking and things like that. And as you go up these stairs and round, there's a couple of rooms, none of which have doors. They've just got kind of archways that lead into different rooms. And you see in one of them there's you kind of, as you're walking past, you kind of peer in and you see it's kind of like an art studio and there's art supplies everywhere and little glowing vials and stuff around the place. And you look into one of these other
I might just nudge Rudy and go, any magic coming off them vials? They look pretty weird.
Yeah, so there'd be various magics. I would say that if for roleplay purposes you've maybe done this ritual at various points just out of curiosity and things, this sorcerer magic is a lot more those arcane schools are very regimented and distinct. Here stuff is a little bit more wishy-washy. yeah, it's because this sorcerer magic doesn't come from a set place like arcane magic does. It's a bit more an expression of oneself.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's various little glows coming from them, but also they are also actually glowing too, not just from her and
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
Should we take a look at the art, Rudy?
Yeah.
Maybe there's a connection between visions that these people seem to be having.
Yeah, I think you might be right. We can also talk telepathically. We don't need to do this.
Yeah, but we're being sneaky.
He's doing that in your head. He's whispering.
I think
I was like,
feel like I
what?
would, to be honest, if I was
Yeah.
telepathic and sneaking.
Enoch would shout at Rudy telepathically.
I think Enoch, as a master stealth, would know that Rudy is not one to mess around with when it comes to stealthing.
If I shout, Rudy's definitely just
Gonna
like
shout back at you.
One of the dots on her
No.
feet is gonna like go like.
Or she'll accidentally shout back at you, like, vocally.
I reckon a sheep would be the most stealthy animal to wear on your foot. I think about how soft the wool is.
Octopus.
Like blank. No, that's gonna go back.
Wishy.
Yeah.
The sheep's gonna.
No, I think because it's got very wool.
I mean, you're standing on his body.
Yeah.
I'm standing on his sucky tentacles. I mean, his fleshy brain.
Yeah, I still reckon it makes a goop.
Tardigrades.
Oh yeah, tardigrades, the most stealthy thing.
I've never seen one.
Okay, yeah, let's split up and rifle.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
alright,
one
as we-
kind of, yeah.
As we split up,
Let's have some investigations.
sure. Got like an add to that? Come on, baby.
12 then.
16.
16. Okay, as you're looking around.
Does that change the outcome from a 14?
Yes, it would.
Excellent. I'll expect the best then.
So as you're looking around, really you find a couple like mostly normal art supplies, paintbrushes, these kind of strange tools which look like they would only really be used. I mean, you're not sure what, but you maybe assume it's some kind of little magical aid or something.
Yeah.
At one point you see some of this more like glowing paint which captures your interest, and then you try to fully, and it is emanating a bit magic aura, and perhaps in your curiosity you kind of accidentally dip your finger in, you're like, ooh, it's little glowing, like, wipe that off somewhere, you've got a little glowing patch now. And,
It's like a black light.
Yeah, then you actually look up, it's just a UV light, so you know that's not glowing at all.
It's actually just jars of calm.
James.
Enoch, as you're looking around, you're kind of not really finding much same kind of stuff, and then you pull open this one drawer, and you notice in the drawer there's like this carving of this of like a strange rune that you don't recognise, but just catches your eyes out of the ordinary. There's not runes in any of the other drawers or anywhere else.
With my telepathy, do you think I could project an image of that room to Dorwin, or would I have to like describe it in like?
I think there would probably, for fear of there being maybe a spell which does that or something, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But you can obviously talk to him.
Sure. So I'll
Or you could copy it, note it down somewhere.
yeah, that's true.
Because like,
Enoch
you do
doesn't.
projecting images for like fun and stuff, but I think
Enoch doesn't have a pen on him or anything. Oh, if only there was loads of paints and paintbrushes next to me. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, all right. I'll get some of the glowing paint. Swipe a vial. Just I can't not. And then I'm gonna paint the room.
Give me a.
Wait, hang on. How is he then projecting this image?
No, I'm not. I'm
He's gonna
I'm
take
just
it with
taking
him.
Oh,
it.
take it
I'm
with
taking
it.
a-
Okay,
I'm taking a
got it.
scroll.
Give me a performance.
But we're
please,
probably like-
maybe.
Performance.
We're probably like on our way to meet you, by the way.
No, they're
We're
in
going
this
to bed.
person's house.
Yeah, but we're done with the artist now, right?
Oh, but are you going to go to that?
You don't
Their
know.
Is
house
this,
with it.
you don't know where it.
Oh, we don't know where it is.
Well,
I mean,
well,
it's
is
fine.
it-
I would
We'll
assume
meet
that
up
we
at some
would,
point.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were going to be posted there all night.
Yeah,
So
true.
we probably would
true.
have been like,
I
we'll
thought you
see
were going
if
back
he's
to. I
there.
thought people were going to bed.
We did say.
Oh yeah, we said we we're going to get to bed.
We'll
That's
probably
an idea.
swing by and see.
We'll probably make sure they're okay
Yeah,
first
exactly,
before we went
yeah.
to bed.
Well, either.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So I mean, so have you maybe communicated? Oh, we're going to come and check on how you're getting on. Should we have that a little mental conversation?
Oh!
Nat 20.
Nat 20?
Performance check.
Oh, mate, you found your little niche. You fucking nailed this. I can't wait until you're actually in like a life or death situation. None of you getting any of these nat 20s, wasting all.
We've had like 5 tonight.
Thanks for this, by the way.
You're very welcome.
So yeah, you're able to like perfectly yeah, you're able to perfectly replicate this rune you've seen.
Does anything like bad happen when I transcribe this rune? Like, alright, thank fuck. I thought I was gonna like go mental as well when I wrote it.
Yeah.
Like I was debating whether or not to like actually like complete the rune, just leave a little like bit out.
Smart.
And just be like, oh wait, there's a bit there.
Jordan says, oh, that's missing.
Blows up the world. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, cool. And what colour's the vial paint? Can it be like metallic bluey purple?
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep, that's fine.
Alright, cool.
Okay, yeah. So
Does it feel like it has any like, what happened when Ty tasted it?
Paint? Really?
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Literally every.
I didn't even notice that.
None of us noticed that because it was so normal.
James is manifesting so hard.
No,
It's like permeating into our
I'm so sorry. It's not, I literally just like,
You know what, really? If you did your hair in a different
Actually, let me just do it.
Please do it. By the way, you seem really musical. You should probably take up.
Pretty cool loot.
You should probably take up. No, I don't have the loot. No, I put it on Ty's
Oh, yeah.
boat.
We've still got the harp though, right?
Wasting like 40 grand.
Yeah, and a waste of a whole encounter where we stole it. But it's thematic, isn't it?
Did anything happen when I touched the paint?
No, it just felt like weird paint.
Just weird paint.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you sneak into the other room.
Yeah. Well, so I say to Ty, where's
No,
the
mate.
fuck? Sorry. I'm not gonna be able to do it this whole session. That's my brain locked in.
Just remember. What about if you imagine calling her full name and Rudy win?
Okay. Right.
Just say her full name every
I
time.
He's just going to say
I also-
Ty's full name now.
I also Tideshkra. I would really because everyone calls you Rudy. I'm always imagining in my mind a situation where like you're doing something that the party don't want you to or something, and they go for your full name like an angry man.
Rudy Winstone. Like the Howler in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Lord Weasley. Rudy Winstone. Dare you kill your brother?
Okay, so every single time.
That's the worst. Are you sure she didn't kill her?
No, she didn't. I couldn't do it. My brain didn't work. Yeah, sorry. Rudy, where's this magic emanating from that you detected?
Right, it's in the front room, just to the right here.
You skulk in. You can see, obviously, dark vision's only grayscale, but it's quite a nice room. You see there's like a desk and a chest and closet for clothing and things. You can see that she's got a kind of stone pedestal which kind of comes out. This looks like it could support a portal, and you can see this strange warpy magic emanating from basically from her head.
From her
She's
head.
in bed, lying in bed. Yeah.
Okay. The magic's focused on her head. I think I can try and lift it, but do we want to start? Do we want to start doing things that might lead us somewhere, or do you think it'd be better to leave her as she is?
I don't think we should leave her as she is. She was under the spell of someone else. It wasn't her that I saw.
Right.
You're the expert with the.
I like how you're saying in your mind and then you actually
Yeah.
I look her in the face and say anything
Just
and you
blank
just go.
phrases and then just talking in Khazal. Right, I can
Well, because it's my psychic thing, it's more of a feeling that that's what I'm doing. So like this kind of role play, like, you know.
Can't imagine feeling that Enoch was going.
No, it's quite like it's almost.
do that to me.
It's like, you know, almost like, you know, just making fun of it.
Don't quite have the words to describe what
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it is.
You know, for him, it's just hand gestures and sparkles.
Yeah.
It's like he has no concept of what it is. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, because you're only understanding your magic
It's
from
my
an entirely different source.
yeah, it's my own magic, which
Yeah.
is like more of a strength of will, force of will type manifestation rather than like a, you know, tapping into some different plane.
Right, I'm gonna cast a spell magic on her and just see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, is that what was it?
No, that was well.
I thought that was what
Well, well, yes, that is what I was going to say. But I was going to say maybe we should wait for Dorwin to come. He seems to be the.
You don't trust me with my magic.
She's done it now.
Yeah, she's done it now.
Wait, what? That's right. I could let's leave this place and
Nah,
meet
fuck
the
it.
others.
I agree.
Cast it now.
Nah, fuck it, Rudy. I agree. We can do anything we want, especially you. Cast it. Let's see what happens.
Fuck it.
Lucky you. Yeah, you go to cast the spell magic, and you can. I mean, why don't you give me a description of what it is like first?
Okay,
And
so
I'll go off that.
the red drops because I've stopped doing that now.
Well, I mean, you can.
It's concentration though.
No,
Detect magic.
the spell magic's not concentration though.
But
Detect magic.
detect magic is.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but if you're concentrating, you can still cast other spells, just as long as they're not concentration.
yeah, you can't concentrate on 2 spells. But you can cast instantaneous spells.
Oh dear. Fucking a year and a half of playing spellcasters both times. This is brutal, cool.
Anyway.
Baby steps.
Yeah, okay then.
So she can't cast the spell magic
She can.
whilst doing detect
Okay.
magic.
But it
Yes,
doesn't,
I
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's fine.
Because only one's concentration.
Maybe
Okay,
we
so,
shouldn't
yeah.
destroy the evidence, though.
Well,
That's
no,
what
she's
I
done
did.
it. It's
Okay.
right. I've done rolls and everything,
Ah,
so
yeah,
we're rolling,
sure.
we go with it.
Yeah.
It's locked in.
Okay, so with detect magic, you can kind of see that the whatever color it is, this aura sort of thing. I'm trying to kind of like draw it out of her.
Just a reminder, so dispel magic is where your casting has vocal and somatic components. Just for your description.
I see how to speak.
Okay, yeah. So I'm muttering Druidic,
Mhm.
I think, which is quite like a Gaelic sounding language. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Given me as a person.
Yeah.
And then it's like
Not
very.
gay.
It's very like, kind of like trying to draw something out, something very liquid almost in consistency, making some sort of difference.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So as you're doing that, you normally when you do this, you kind of are able to have that which you're drawing out kind of just naturally kind of breaks through, like it's almost like a dam breaking. Breaks and then it flows through, and you're able to then expel it.
Yeah.
But with this, you feel as your sort of flow reaches this aura of magic, it's kind of immediately like reflected almost. It's like there's a forceful,
shield.
bouncy barrier, which just that's fun to say, which just causes your dispel magic to fail entirely.
Okay. Right, that did not work. I think we should leave.
At this point, you see that she kind of stirs a little bit, but then just kind of rolls over. and goes to sleep.
Leave, that's cool.
I was getting ready with like a candlestick just to
I'll bash the magic out of you.
In the head, did you say?
I just looked at time like, is that going to work?
Yeah, always right. He goes with the spoon.
I've just been concentrating so much on the spell, I don't even notice him doing it across the room.
I agree. We should get out of here, but I think we should bring this to one of the leaders of the Drovnar Peaks. This is the evidence that everyone has been looking for.
But if it's affecting her, we don't know who else is under this spell. I suppose I could find out quickly.
She yawns very loudly.
Okay, let's pause. We just completely stopped talking telepathically. Just having a conversation.
Well, I think that the magic affecting this woman's brain is really serious.
Okay.
All right, cool. So you scurry off, and as you
Oh, I'm scared.
You're just going to... Okay, fine. Alright. I maybe say to broadcast to Dawn and Polana, just like, find Tiashton and bring her here. Like, you know? Like...
Yeah. Okay.
time to go on a journey.
Like, you know...
Are we going to do this tonight, or are we going to finish, go back to bed or raise alarm bells now, basically?
I do think if there is time to sleep and face this in the morning,
Sure.
it will be better.
But we know this mental affliction's transient. We might not get a better chance to prove that there are external forces working on the minds of the inhabitants of the Drovnar Peaks.
Well, that's
But
true.
we've been here for one day. Sorry, we're talking telepathy.
Yeah.
We've been here for one day and we've already come across 3 people that have been affected by it. I'm sure there's going to be potentially dozens more. I don't think it's going to be that difficult to find more people that are being...
Is it 3 or 2?
Well, there's the artist, there was this one, and the girl. There's like something's going on.
Oh, I
there.
see.
So,
Yeah.
There's 3 people that are clearly affected by it.
Uh-huh.
You may be right. And with that, we can scurry off. I'm going to take a canvas and some more paints now.
Sure. I'm guessing a smallish canvas if it's going in your bag.
Yeah, about this big.
Mhm.
And a red paint, a blue paint, and a green paint.
Mm.
But if possible, could there be the shiny ones? Can the red one at least be shiny?
Yes, the red one's shiny, the other ones aren't.
Okay, but the bluey purple one, I took out.
Yes, that was
Okay.
We've got 4 paints total.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Oh, and white and black, obviously.
Obviously.
But they don't have to be shiny.
Oh, okay. Fine.
I love how we're all trying to piece together this really serious thing that's going on, and Enoch's just found a new hobby.
You're really good at this.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're done robbing this poor woman, it's good.
The thing that I love about, what I find really funny about D&D,
They have no
it's
concept
like,
of money.
it's like immersion
Really?
breaking, which is also quite fun because it's just in the game. Is that like you can be like a complete blockhead, get a nat 20 and like paint the Mona Lisa, and then like never do a good painting again. Okay, cool. So you think of, I mean, you did well on your staying awake check, so you can continue to stake out tonight if you want. It'll probably be good for tomorrow. If you want to keep an eye on the house.
Yeah, sure. I
Do
think.
you not have to keep doing checks throughout the day?
Well, by this
I
point,
can't
surely
say
it's
once
like
per
3
day
in the
kind of thing.
morning.
Yeah, I'd say once per day.
Yeah,
normally,
fair enough.
And also, surely by this point, it's like 3 in the morning anyway, so it's not actually that long until.
No, exactly. Yeah,
daybreak.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so Enoch's going to go up onto the roof of the house over the road and start painting his canvas.
Sure, nice. Yeah.
He's
Is that
painting.
keeping watch, is it?
He's painting what's going on.
So it's like eyes
like a
pointing different
CCTV.
directions.
No, he's not like the artist where he's like locked in his work. He's like, just,
All right.
not like,
So-
but also like, he's only really looking for people coming in and out of the front door. It's not like,
What do you paint?
what do you think?
A penis.
No, I pick.
Paint tied. Yeah.
Oh.
Weird. It's weird. Paint tie.
that's sweet.
I wasn't gonna paint tie.
No. I think it would be sweet if you were like.
You
right,
just
time
made
for-
it weird.
No, I think it would be nice if you were like, right, I'm gonna like spend the day or a couple of days doing like a little half-assed doodle while you're watching a house. Like, to do like your dead mate is like, I think that's a bit weird.
Okay, fair.
So this is a practice run, which I'm hoping will give me more points later on to do the full one, which is Enoch vanquishes the dragon.
Okay. So give me a performance. God, I hope it's low. What is it?
3.
Is that one? Oh, okay.
Oh, he's drawing what he's fucking paints.
1 second.
And can you tell me how I feel about this? Like, do I think it's a good job, or do I recognise that it's complete dog shit?
I think Enoch would think it was amazing either way.
Yeah. It's Enoch.
He'd be like, I'm fucking sick
at
this.
everything.
Yeah.
Enoch thinks he's sick at everything.
Behold your masterpiece.
It's the sword bent. I've only got the pencil.
This is yours.
Thanks.
Not only that, it took you about 4 or 5 hours. Like really putting your heart and soul into it.
Jamesy, I'm gonna, just because this is gonna be fun, have a little note on your character sheet somewhere, like just in the notes section. Have art, like art skill, and for now we'll have a -1 on it.
Okay.
And then every good drawing you do, so maybe like above a 10, we'll give you a 1, and anything below a 10 we'll give you a -1. So the worse you do, the more likely it is you're going to do worse drawings in future. But if you start doing better, then you know it'll be a fun little.
Or maybe that minus could also be a modifier, so you could like.
That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you add custom modifiers?
Nah, I'm just making that.
In your notes, other, and then you can go down and say art score -1, or notes all, then the bottom is other.
Yeah, I thought as in you could add to your list of things you can do. Yeah.
That'd be cool. That's what I like about Troika is there's no set skills.
I know you can
It's all just.
You can add custom skills.
Your skill on.
You can add a custom skill to the bottom. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can literally rename
Can add a custom skill.
Yeah.
Well, in the
At the bottom it says additional skills. Click on it and you can add a custom one. That's so cool.
custom skill.
I could just have my herbalism modifier on here then.
Do you need to go relatively soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Well, let's base it off your wisdom.
So my wisdom is a +2, so it's -1, so +1.
You should be able to
bonus.
select wisdom, and then a custom -1.
So I'm not proficient in it.
Yeah.
Stat is going to be
Charity.
wisdom.
And just say we're
custom
going to be
skill.
done in about 25 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Sure. She's going to come pick it up.
Little baby
Mom,
I'm done with D&D. I want to go home. The guys were mean to me.
Was +2. So then how do I do this? Oh, so I override it. It's +1 now.
Used to piss me off when you were at a sleepover and people used to get their mums to pick them up in the night.
I don't think that ever happened at a sleepover.
I don't think that's ever happened to any of my sleepovers either.
Maybe it was fucking private school kids being pussies or something.
What, they just like stay until like 9 o'clock and then they start crying for their mum?
No, they'd been like happened a couple of times. There were 1 or 2 people who like would be intending to sleep over, and then would like
They'd bottle
get
it.
done with it.
Should you take a hint from this? Is this more about you than it is about them?
Whenever they come to my house, I don't know about them. No.
I do remember we did a trip in year 6, and after a couple of days I remember a guy getting so homesick that he had to leave, and I was just like,
Bro, just stick a pencil in the turd, they'll send you home. Yeah, it's a bit wet, isn't it?
yeah, I just couldn't imagine it. It was so much fun. We were doing all these like crazy things every day, and like, I did hate my home though. So.
Yeah, you get homesick when you go home.
What time do you have to go, Cora?
My train's at 22, so like
10-15 minutes.
Well, I mean, should we maybe just pause here and like have a chill for a minute, or do we want to finish off the last little? I'm just thinking, are we going to start a whole other little?
That's the
section?
thing. If we're
yeah.
because
Well,
we're
I'm
ramping
gonna
up to
sleep,
like
so-
quite a big section now.
Yeah.
I'm happy with whatever.
Yeah. You want to? Would you prefer to carry on? Are you...
Well, I'm just wary of time. Like, it's cool to just carry on, but then, well, you obviously know how things are potentially going to go.
Well, no, I'm just thinking because, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like with this, I'm really enjoying how this is going because it's like all of my ideas and everything around this are all quite like they don't want to set anything super in stone because they don't know what's going to happen. So I'm really enjoying like how the mystery's unfolding. So I know the result obviously, or potential result. So it's like, but all I'm thinking is in terms of if we continue playing, the next session is like going to Kenneth or go seeking somebody out. If we like start this whole little thing and do it for 10 minutes, and
Yeah, let's not
go.
Let's leave it till next
Yeah,
time.
maybe now's a
Yeah,
good
so
time
yes.
to.
Are you getting the train as well?
Harry's good at copying me up.
Nice.
Yeah, cool, nice.
That was a wicked session.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
I'm
enjoyed that.
enjoying this.
Nice.
mystery.
And we've got a lot to do and a lot to
Yeah.
go as well.
loads
So we
of
have a
it.
few more of these, which it's funny, isn't it? Because the role play sessions, I feel like you can kind of do forever, but the combat sessions, like you kind of want to be over after two or more, don't you? So it's like kind of funny how it's like less taxing. I guess it's just less thinking and more like just doing what you want to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Let's go chill then, I guess.